The Earth is very flat.
What's up, everybody? It is Monday, March 8th. This is Brandon, host of Brandon Show. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I see quite a few people in the chat to start the week off. What's up, everybody? We got Matrix Media, Just for Girls, Allie B, Natural Law Abider, Page 42, and Ian Adams, Flat for Life, Bill G, David Reed. Let's see who else we got. Scrolling up. C4, Anthony Burrows, David Wrestler, and Plain Truth, and Red Hen Radio. I think that's a 2-for-1 there. I believe that's Travis's other account. What's up? What's up, guys? Good crowd to start off the show. I know there's a couple other shows going on, so it's good to see quite a few people showing up at the beginning here. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. I think I am. But if not, let me know. All right. What do we got going on today? Who knows? I got some stuff. Yeah, Google moderating the chat. Yeah, I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that a bunch of stuff is going on with the Google moderator just canceling comments for no apparent reason. And I have no idea what's going on. I think they may have released an update or something, because nothing in my settings has changed. Like I didn't block a bunch of words or anything like that. So I have no idea. But anyway, hopefully it's not too much. Yeah, let me know when it happens though. I'm curious to see if there is a thing. Mods are blocking for no reason again. I did unblock a few people to start off the show. I think I'm gonna have to go back to no mods, unfortunately. And I do apologize for the mods out there who are not blocking people for no reason. There is somebody, I believe, that is blocking people after shows, because during the show I typically watch. Every once in a while, you know, someone gets blocked and I've got to reverse it or unblock them, which is not a big deal, because everybody gets a little trigger happy sometimes. But I'm noticing between shows, because I've been checking every day, that there's people that are blocked that I know there was no reason for them to block, and it wasn't during the show. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm probably going to demod everybody and start from scratch. And the reason is I don't know who it is. So the best I could do is guess. And yeah, I think about each one of the mods and I'm like, no, that person wouldn't be blocking people off of the, off show time. That person wouldn't be blocking people. So every single one of you guys, I'm like, no, I don't think this person's doing it. So I don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to let you know that that's probably going to happen, unfortunately. But anyways, in better news, what are we doing today? Better news. Let me put the link for the Streamlabs donations in the chat, and that will be pinned at the top for anybody who wants to support the show and get a shout out. And then super chats open as always. Let's see what else is going on. I saw Ranty release some new videos. If you haven't checked out his channel, Almost Unbelievable, go and check it out. He's got some cool stuff on there. Good stories, a nice little break from Flat Earth every now and then. So check that out. He's gaining subscribers pretty quickly. It is with conspiracy cats, but as far as ballers go, you know, I guess he's one of the least hateable ballers, I would say. Not that I hate all ballers. I like ballers. I'm just saying he doesn't get that animosity from people that a lot of other ballers do. So anyway, check the show out. It's pretty good. They don't talk about Flat Earth, but it is still pretty cool. Let's see here. Okay, well, why don't we go into Discord and see what's going on, and then we'll go from there.
Let's say you came up with something new that nobody had before, that blew the lid off one of the globe arguments. What would be the best time to put that out?
It would still be the same process. You would want to find the best avenue to put that information out so that it doesn't get banned or shadow banned or, you know, completely canned by the powers that be. So that's why with my refraction stuff, I'm trying to come up with a thesis, and I think I've got one, that addresses the issue, but addresses it in a roundabout way by dealing with what mirages are ultimately.
So you think it's a good time to wait? It'd be a time if you had something that blew the lid off of the globe, one of the globe arguments. It'd be a good time to wait until you get on the news, or
think about Joshua Nowicki, okay? Right? Let's say he was a flat. Let's say he was a flat earther, but he didn't say to Channel 5 News in Chicago or whatever, "Hey, I'm a flat earther and this blows the lid." He just said, "Hey, look at this." Boom. They completely gave it a spin that just totally dismantled his proof.
Jeremy, like, think of it this way. Let's say you're not a doctor, okay, and you're just working out of your own office in your home, and you discover a cure for cancer. Okay, there's no way you get to blow the lid off of that. You don't know. It doesn't matter if you can inject somebody with one drop of whatever formula you've come up with, and they never get cancer, and they'll never have it again. That cures all of the cancer forever. You don't get to blow the lid off of that. Okay. Basically,
why? I would put it out on the internet. I would put it.
You need to be very. No, it won't matter, because what will happen is you'll say you found it. Everyone will say, no, you didn't. You're not even a scientist. You're not a doctor. You have no credits. You're a liar who's trying to become famous. That's what that's how it's going to start. And then from there, they're going to do everything they can basically to prevent you getting anything done with this thing that you claim that you've discovered.
Yeah, I would just.
Yeah, what Bob said.
It's like, there's no way we can't.
Let's say it was a drop of. Well, I mean, there's somebody in our arena that claims to have evidence that would blow the lid off of a big globe argument, and they're not putting it out.
Well, who is it? Do we know him?
Yeah, you know him. It's Bob with the gyro.
Oh, well, then it's going to be timing. He's just waiting for the right time. That makes sense.
Right time for that doesn't make sense to me at all,
bro. It does,
and not to me. Maybe in your mind, but.
Listen, just because you found out your wife was sleeping with somebody, doesn't mean that you just come out and nail her to the wall with it. You got to like lay low and go, okay, I'm gonna make this work. This has to work in my favor, and I've got all the evidence. I'm just gonna hang tight, just gonna sit back, and when the right time comes up, I'm gonna drop the bomb. That's it.
Yeah, that's a little different than. That's a little different than a globe argument. I mean,
all right.
I don't know. It's fucked up. But I think we need to take a fundraiser and to get a gyro.
What's up, guys?
And go do the shit ourselves. What's up?
What's up? We're live. We've been live for a couple minutes. I've been listening, and obviously I know what you're talking about. The ring laser gyro at different altitudes, and I agree with your last statement. I think we just need to go out and rent one and do it.
Yeah.
I never looked into renting one. I don't know how much they are to rent. I know that FE Core paid a bunch of money or got one donated to them before, but I gotta imagine you can rent one somehow, right?
Maybe Bob will let us use his.
Does he still have it?
I don't know.
I mean, he might. We could ask him.
Couldn't hurt to ask, though, before we go and spend thousands of dollars. I'd have to imagine even renting one of these things is expensive.
Yeah, right.
Amazon, like one of those little kids gyros that you spin with a string. Couldn't that work?
Yeah, that's good enough.
That'll work.
What kind of store would have those? Like, what they're using?
I went through about
aviation, right?
I went through like 2 pages on the Google results, and I didn't really see anything that struck me as you should click here and see how much it is. But I might have skimmed. I was just skimming it.
I'm looking right now. For one to rent.
I mean, you're gonna want to rent one for a few days because you're gonna need to climb a fucking mountain.
Anybody
you know what
live
I'm
by
saying?
the mountains?
And you're gonna want to. What's up?
Anybody live by the mountains?
I mean, I'm like 3 hours from the Adirondacks. 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Sky Free is in Colorado Springs. They're not too far.
Oh, there we go.
We need someone that can get really low and then really high. I mean, I could get really high, but that's not relevant.
Yeah, somebody at sea level and then somebody at altitude.
Yeah, we need someone that could be at the beach and then and then on a mountain within, a day.
Why does it have to be within a day?
I mean, how many days you want to rent this thing for? We're probably charging you by the hour.
I'm wondering, would you have to do it in the same day? Is there any? I don't know how these things work that well, so I'm kind of talking out my ass here. But is it something that's impacted by the weather or anything like that, or is there like no other variables that can impact this thing, weather-wise, pressure?
Just gravity,
I have
bro.
no idea. We got to check with Bob and see exactly what he did, so we can mimic it. I'd hate to rent one and then not do some certain thing that he did with pressure, temperature. Yeah, that's why I wish we had his results so we could just fucking see and then go do it.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's his information. If he doesn't want to give it out, whatever, that's on him. But
right,
it's kind of, I don't know, man.
No, I get you. Just one thing, just for girls, I saw your account was blocked before the show and I unblocked it. I don't know if it takes a while to cycle through or whatever, but it should be unblocked now. I'm unblocking people. Somebody's blocking people off Showtime. So I don't know who it is. I'm not trying to find out who it is. So I'm just going to probably demod everybody.
In Discord or YouTube?
YouTube. Discord I check every week or so, or see if a bunch of people have been blocked.
Mic test, hello.
Hey, what's up, Jimbo?
Me, the way I see it, if you got something credible, you put it forward and you let it go through the scrutiny that it deserves. If you got data on a ring laser gyro and it's all this groundbreaking stuff, you put it forward, you put it out there. You don't wait 6 months, a year, till the next election of most popular flat earther. You put it out there, you let it go under the scrutiny that it deserves.
I feel you, Jimbo. I'm with you, bro. It's repeatable. It's repeatable shit that we could go do. We need whatever. We need to, I don't know, Brandon.
It sounds like Rumpus telling us we're too dumb for him to tell us, all his secrets and why we're wrong. We're just too dumb for him to tell us and explain to us and show us.
That's because we don't
understand. How is this any different? Yeah, we don't understand. We obviously won't understand the ring laser gyro data. It's obvious.
No, I totally get where you're coming from, Jeremy, but this is because I was asking the same questions. I don't know, when did that movie come out? A year ago, 18 months ago, probably more. And I was like, I want to see the data. I want to see everything about this thing. And Bob did talk about it on Globebusters, and then I kind of let it go. Because I was pretty upset about it back then, but
this could blow the lid off a main globe argument. The gyroscope deviation. This destroys the notion that it's fucking Earth rotating.
Well, there's an important word in all these devices is interferometers. They measure interference, not something that's real or genuine. Interference isn't Earth rotation. An interferometer means something's interfering with something else. It doesn't specify what in any way, shape, or form. And interference is purely that, interference. It's not really coherent data.
Well,
what do you mean by that, Jim?
Either way,
it's not really coherent data. I'm just asking to clarify. That's all.
Yeah, if you watch a snowy picture on a TV, like the old black and white with rabbit ears, what information are you getting from that snow and hiss? No real data. There's no real information from that.
Right.
It's interference. And you can measure that interference. But you're not measuring anything substantive. Like with the interferometer in a ring laser gyro. What interference is it measuring? What is interfering?
Yeah,
What's
that's the thing
causing the
that's always
interference?
bothered me
It's not
too.
Earth rotation.
That's the thing that's always
See what I'm
bothered me
saying?
about it is you're not manipulating anything. You know, you're not. There's no independent variable that you're manipulating, right? Or dependent variable.
Yeah, this isn't science. This isn't science. This is just some man-made shit. But it would blow the lid off their argument of that it's caused by Earth rotation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to. I don't know. That's pretty big for, I think.
It's absolutely ambiguous what interference is and what's interfering with any interferometer.
Yeah.
It's not measuring anything substantive.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with you. We should look into that. Yeah, I'm going through Google while we're talking here, looking for like anything to
It would.
rent, and there's just nothing. I can't even find one to buy.
You know, maybe Bob will at least tell us where he went or the conditions of the day. I don't know, something to help.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Because I'd hate to go rent one and then go to a mountain and figure out, oh, it was because of the pressure or humidity or something else, and not just the altitude alone.
You know, they might actually be controlled. Like, you have to get them through, you know, a distributor like Carlisle Group or whatever. And
Honeywell, doesn't Honeywell?
fairly sensitive. Yeah.
Don't Honeywell make the ones on all major planes, or?
Well, they make them and all kinds of carbon monoxide detectors, etc. But, you know, they market them through different companies, right?
So
They're
it looks like
brand-
it's not. They do that so it looks like it's not just one company supplying all the or all the ring laser gyros. They used to do that with cab companies and all kinds of companies back in the day, so they would avoid having a monopoly.
You know, for whatever reason, if you needed to really accurately bomb somewhere, you might need a ring laser gyro. So they might be controlled by the FCC or FAA or whatever. They might have regulations on their use and distribution.
Yeah, I wonder.
What's
I
up,
bet
Dan?
you once you crack that puppy open too, it's like null and void. Probably got to send it back to Honeywell to mess with it. You know, I haven't looked into these too much, so I really don't have much to say on them. But it would be good to get one. They're looks like they're about $8,000 to $10,000. Well, I'm certainly not going to buy an $8,000 to $10,000 gyro.
For a sophisticated device to measure interference or noise, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think any of them are.
It's definitely worth it. The Globers are saying that it's Earth rotation causing it. If we get something other than 15 degrees an hour, it's obviously not Earth rotation. It's fucking huge for us.
Yeah. I got a super chat. Let me read this from B-Ball for Life. What's up, B-Ball? US $5. Maybe there's a good reason why Bob hasn't released his data. Yeah, very possible that there's a good reason. I agree. I know what you're getting at, but there may be a good reason otherwise.
It won't stand up to criticism.
Can I chime in on
Bias
this?
Oh, hey, Dan. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Bob used FE Core against me, so that's why I'm ticked about it. And he's like, I'm a member of FE Core, and I know what I'm talking about, and you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, really, dude? FE Core hasn't done shit. They haven't released what they have done. They're in complete disarray. Everything from their address to their financials, their ability to communicate with each other, and they won't admit it. Karen, don't talk about it no more. Fucking Ben left. Jaron left.
There are a bunch
talk
of
to Rick Hummer. He don't even know if they've got an address anymore. They don't talk to each other. They don't release anything. They're in complete disarray, and I'm furious about it because we had hope for that. We had hope, not only hope, like financial hope. If we were going to put money into it, it was going to be them. They were going to handle shit that needed legal stuff. They were going to handle a curriculum for education. They were going to handle shit. Nothing.
Didn't
coming up with 10 or
Rodrigo have a some kind of falling out
had a nice
too?
website
Dan,
for a while.
hold on a minute. Didn't
No.
Rodrigo have a falling out too? I didn't know that this a bunch of stuff was going on. I haven't heard about FE Core for a while.
Well, that's a problem. And I did some experiments where we were in Utah and we went out and did Bear Lake and we did the Salt Flats. And it's, you know, I talked to one of the guys that's like the treasurer or something from FE Core. I took him aside and I'm like, what's the deal? And he's like, oh, yeah, we had a bad hard drive. We don't know who's going to edit. We really, you know, haven't communicated and everyone's pulling and pushing. And the rumor has it, you know, that if it isn't Bob's idea, it won't go forward. And that's where I'm beefing with Bob right now, or Bob's busy calling me names, timing me out, and then talking about me like a baby. And I'm really tired of trying. I mean, what happened, the short story is with me, is I was in the streets taking it to the people, and the people spoke back. A mathematician took me aside. He was emailing me. I ignored him. He came to me face to face, looked at me, and he goes, look, I'm holding this little trifold flyer of Nathan Thompson's. And he goes, look, I told you that this number is no good. He goes, I told you, you know, he goes, you guys are cool, but you guys, you know, have to show real numbers. And I took it to Nathan and he blew me off. I took it to Mark Sargent, and he relied upon David Weiss, and they both gave me gibberish math about the plane drop on a 500-mile-an-hour aircraft per minute. And it's basic shit, just so you know, is 500 miles an hour is 8.33 miles per minute. So all of your curve calculation comes from that distance, if you're talking per minute. But in fact, they put up the number that was per hour, but they called it per minute. And I was thinking, and I was hunting, and I was trying to get through to everyone, the upper end people, and all of a sudden it hit me like a shot. I'm like, fuck, I hear that in my head. That's Eric Dubé. Like, I hear that equation in my head. And sure enough, it's Eric's number 15. So I try and reach him. And Eric's like, no, that's right. And I'm like, well, it's not. You know, you guys are talking miles per hour, but then you switch it over to feet per minute, and you never converted. And he's like, well, I guess it is worded wrong. And I'm like, well, that's the best you're going to do? And it's like, yeah. And I go on fighting this. In the meantime, I got fucking Mark steamed at me. Weiss is calling me a lunatic. Jaron's hiding from the whole thing because he's already fighting with Bob on fucking Gravity because Bob won't leave it alone. And Bob's creating a lot of separation, and he's gatekeeping my ass. He's blocking me everywhere. He came on your show the other day, and he first of all, he complained. And I can't even express it. I mean,
who are you? Who are you?
What? My name's Dan.
What's your name? Dan who?
My name's Dan.
Dan the Waterman.
I've never heard of you before.
Either way, on the
He's been around, Jeremy. Yeah, Dan's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
well, he sounds like it. He's in with all these guys.
Am I coming through at all?
Yeah, we hear you, Jimbo. I was right in the middle of saying something. We hear you.
Okay, yeah, so was I. I'd like to congratulate on the 16 million views on that interview with, I forget what show, Science versus, you know, the Flat Earth there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Million views and growing.
Everything else is censored, so that gets found. It's getting a shitload of views every day. But it's not, it's all newbies, you know, it's all newbies and they're getting their laughs out. So it gives us a little stretch, you know, because they're getting their laugh out. People have to go through that laughter phase, you know. So there's basically 260,000 comments saying I'm an idiot.
It's a great interview, and it's got a great hit score on it. And again, congratulations on that one.
Thanks, Jimbo. Thanks for not fighting with me right away, because I know that you and I can fight pretty easy.
Oh shit, that's what we do around here, Dan. And just to make it clear for the audience and everybody on the panel, I'm personally not taking sides in any beef. You know, just to make that clear. But Bob did get to speak his mind the other night, and it's only fair that Dan also gets to speak his mind. So it is interesting to hear these things that you're saying. You know,
Bob's not.
So Dan, you're telling me. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Dan, you're telling me FE Core's. You're telling me FE Core's got this gyro data, and they're the ones in charge of it, and not Bob, or?
they can't consult. Remember, they were formed out of the country. And the main guy, I don't even think has got, like Mike Kavanaugh, I don't even think he's got any of his media up, like social media or anything. And they're not a congruent group, but how do you, if it's international, so they're not really able to have the common, like, even interest,
Their headquarters was in an old Freemason church, so go figure.
Yeah, it's really a drag because at one time it was like when Karen got involved, it's like, all right, that's legit. She's talking homeschooling, she's talking curriculum, and to me, I was like, all right, well, at least they're handling some of the shit that needs legal advice, and it's like that shit costs thousands to do legal stuff. So if they sucked up a few $1,000s to get some paperwork in order, by the way, keeping us from needing a church, which is the other way we can hide with rights, is as the Church of the Flat Earth. Nobody wants that.
I thought of that before, and that was the worst. Yeah, I thought of that before, and that was one of the worst ways to go with it.
It sure is, and it pisses off the Christians too.
Right.
As if they need to be poked.
It opens up a whole
like,
other can of worms with, just weirdness.
So, I mean, I'm just so lucky that I've been able to go out in the field and do actual stuff. It gives me so much confidence. I've played with lasers at 10 miles in more than one location in more than one day. I know what it's like to work at 10 miles distance. And I know that I have acute familiarity with 9.6 miles, which is pretty close to 8 miles. And there's only 40, 50 feet of drop there. It ain't no 2,700 feet of drop like they're talking about on that. So what I'm pissed about is that we're wrong. We're parroting Eric for 5 years and nobody's checked. And I bring it to everyone's attention and they tell me I'm a fucking lunatic. And it's fucking wrong. Eric's number 15 is wrong. And Nathan Thompson's number 2 is wrong. And I look like an asshole. Go, what's up, Jimbo?
No, it's Rob. My shit mic. It's okay. I just hear you saying that it's wrong, but how is it wrong? I'm not trying. I'm a horizontal level waterer here. So I just want to know what is wrong and how is it wrong?
Okay, what they're doing is they're saying that an unadjusted flight, regardless of altitude, we're sort of fudging the altitude, but they're saying that uninterrupted flight at 500 miles per hour, you'd end up being 31 miles off the Earth. That's the rough estimate if you did not adjust. But then they're turning around and they're saying, but if you adjusted, it would have to be 2,775 feet per minute. Well, the problem is if you adjusted, you'd never get to that 31-mile height, which they're calculating backwards. So Mark and Weiss and Bob are sending me an equation that says 500 miles an hour, 8 inches times 500 miles equals blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, 500 miles per hour is a speed, not a distance. If the answer is going to be per minute, your distance is per minute. So they're calculating the wrong distance. They're calculating the distance.
All right. Thank you for the clarification, because I just wasn't sure what we were calculating. And if you're just, from my point of view, if they're trying to calculate a curve, get some water and learn how to work with water, and there's no curve to calculate.
Yeah. So I got it on
Dan, what about the number
15, Dan, the one that we're talking about, just so we can kind of center the conversation here and make sure this information gets out, at least on this show. And the proof is, if the Earth were truly a sphere, 25,000 miles in circumference, airplane pilots would have to constantly correct their altitudes downward so as to not fly straight off into outer space. A pilot wishing to simply maintain their altitude at a typical cruising speed of 500 miles per hour would have to constantly dip their nose downwards and descend 2,777 feet over half a mile, in parentheses, every minute. Otherwise, without compensation in 1 hour's time, the pilot would find themselves 31.5 miles higher than expected.
Well, have you guys ever heard QE make this argument? He gives a number of feet per minute, and I'm not sure what it is, but does he have the correct number?
The correct number is at 8.33 miles, it ends up being 46.25 feet of drop per minute. It's roughly a trim adjustment and not a nose down of the wheel. Could you imagine the dive if you were going a half a mile per minute? The dive, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And their calculation of 2775 doesn't match the curvature on the surface.
Yeah, that's just seems like a big number on its face. I mean, that's huge.
It's wrong. It's flat out wrong.
Right.
It's 2775 per hour, not per minute. And they forgot to divide by 60. They've got both miles per hour and feet per minute. You got to convert it to minute. I mean, you have to convert your miles per hour to minutes, and you have to get your distance.
Sorry. Has anyone ever heard QE give this argument or no?
No.
Nobody? All right.
Yeah. So they given the per hour number instead of the per minute number, and you're trying to get that corrected, and it hasn't been corrected.
That's backwards. They're giving it as per minute, but it's actually per hour.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's printed. Yeah, and it's pretty basic. Here's the joke. Okay, here's the joke. A guy called into Jaron's show with the joke. He says, "Pull over, son. Officer, why'd you pull me over?" He says, "Well, you were driving 93 miles an hour." He says, "Well, officer, I couldn't have been driving 93 miles an hour because I haven't been driving for 93 miles and you weren't behind me for an hour." This is the logic that they're using when they're taking a distance. They're taking a speed of 500 miles an hour and assuming that the distance is 500 miles. Skiba now comes up with different numbers. Skiba says it's 2 miles of drop per every 12 miles of distance. So why did Skiba have different numbers? Because he's also using the destination distance for the calculation, which if you're dividing it by per minute, you cannot use your destination for a height distance. They're absolutely wrong about this.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because you're saying over this amount of time you have this much drop, and then they're dividing that by the entire thing. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It is kind of a tricky calculation to get right.
Yeah. And I mean, look, the whole thing's confusing to people. If you don't say squared, they jump on your ass. If we talk about the altitude, it's going to be different than on the surface of the earth. They're going to jump on your ass. And everyone's going to talk about, start parabolizing this conversation again. And I just got shut down by the big boys left and right. I just want to shout out to Jaron, who's the only guy who stood up. Jaronism said, "Look, I'm not going to use it anymore, right or wrong. It's too confusing." And my point is, we got enough facts that we don't need to take an if scenario and then fuck up the math and then plaster it all over. And I'm pissed at all of us for not catching this for 5 years. And for what else are we parroting? And I'd like to ask you something, Brandon, because you're pretty smart and everyone here is pretty cool. I've always been taught to villainize Eric, and I'm thinking we're wrong. I mean, maybe Eric's no villain. It's like...
Well, I've never had a personal problem with him. I don't know what happened back in the day, but I do remember him attacking everybody else. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So was that offensive or defensive is the question, because it turns out Go ahead.
Public figures, whenever you put yourself in the public, you are prone to be mocked or mimicked. And what he did when he did a lot of the characterization, like Patricia Steere when he dressed up like her and stuff, it was very artful. The guy is an artist, He did some really good stuff. I don't know about all this politics, about, he's married to some type of dictator's daughter or something there. Kind of like, suspicious. But
dude got on with me and I was petrified. I was chatting with him on Facebook. I was petrified. Did not piss the guy off, and it was like but I was going to be strong. And I go, dude, I'm fighting this. I don't need to argue with you. Take care. Nice talking to you, And I just want to say he had enough class to get on and talk and try and explain it to me. Jaron spent a lot of time with me and finally just said, I can't talk anymore. It's causing problems. I can't take sides. I just won't mention that shit anymore.
Well, his big demise was going into all that Nazism and stuff, Flat Earth is one thing and all these crypto politics and stuff is really another.
That is one
I'm
thing
pissed
that
about-
Eric went off on that stuff, and I think that kind of that's tough to mix the two. But I don't have a
It
problem with
turned me
Eric's
off.
stuff. I watch his videos when they come out. I think he's done good work, and I agree with you, Dan. If we're wrong about this, we should correct it. No questions
what
asked.
else are we wrong about?
Yeah.
Do it's like, so we can't just afford. Listen, here's the thing. I go out in the street and I talk to people, and the people spoke back, and I took it to the upper echelon, and they fucking told me to get fucked. They told me to get fucked. They all gave me bad math, every one of them. You should see the bad mouthing and bullshit that Bob laid on me instead of talking to me. I begged him to keep this private, not to do this publicly. I begged him to learn damage control, and I begged him to do his job as doing some sort of patrolling for what we do. And he's furious at me for calling him the sheriff of Flat Earth. Sure enough, he did a show Sunday, and he opened up and he talked about those clown guys doing their clown tour, which I can't believe anyone let them use that name. But he's like, before he introduces them, he says, yeah, they better get their ass out of Florida. They've been there for 3 weeks. A further example that Bob loves to police, always polices, but I asked him to police this, and he shit on me. And I just want to correct one thing. Bob says that I'm after Nathan and Eric, but I didn't do any of this until Bob said on Globebusters it was 2,500 feet drop at 600 miles an hour. It was when Bob said it that I went after him to correct this. And he's trying to say, I'm trying to correct other people. No, I'm trying to correct Bob, because Bob has trouble with this gyro shit and damage control. And he's accusing me now of having socks. He's accusing me of sabotaging an upcoming potential TV show thing, which is such bullshit, because he's the one that says if I'm on it, he won't be on it. How does that make me sabotaging anything? What a piece of crap. And, so I hate to call Bob names because it's what he's done to me, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to shout out to Jaron for being a great guy. I'm going to shout out to Eric for getting on with me, and I'm going to shout out to Bob's wife, who fought really hard to try and get us to communicate. Man, she was amazing, trying to not take sides. And
Jaron's a shit.
So emotional.
Jaron's a shit. I used to fuck with him back in the day. Definitely. I used to watch all this shit.
So, Dan, what do you think could be done to get you guys back on the same page? I mean, what are you looking for? You there?
Let's put it this way. There's three solutions being suggested. I'm saying, look, just change it to per hour, and you don't even have to change your numbers. Just fix per minute to per hour. Wendell Walton just sent a communication to both of us, and his suggestion is we add the word average. I don't understand what that does, but they're wanting to add the word average. That's the second fix. The third fix, Nathan Thompson says, is he's going to change it to say if the plane traveled for an hour. So I don't understand, because Skiba's got different numbers. It's not a big fix because it's an if question. And it's an if question based on the globe. Throw it out. It needs to be thrown out. In the case of Eric, it's 5 years in print. He ain't going to be able to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But we can.
Dan, can I jump in here again real quick? Because you said something really, really key there. We should drop this discussion about talking about a drop. The calculations for the drop is the problem with the conversation.
No.
Hang on, let me finish. Even the NASA documents state that you are flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. In the NASA documents, it states that it is a flat plane that the airplane traveling over. So whether you guys want to calculate some imaginary drop in there between both camps, you guys got to just stop talking about the drop that's not there. Thank you.
I hate to say it, you're so right, and that's how Weiss got out of this. David Weiss got out of it, and he goes, dude, it doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. But next thing you know, I seen him sitting under a banner that talks about a mile drop every 2 minutes. and he's sitting under it while telling me that nobody, Mark Sargent tells me nobody uses it, he never mentions it, and nobody's ever caught him on it or caught anyone on it, which is bad logic. Just because nobody's noticed doesn't make it right.
Hey,
And,
Brandon, can I jump in for a minute?
Yeah, let me
Go
read
ahead.
this super chat from B-Ball real quick, Ruhif, because I've been sitting on it for a couple minutes, and then you can ask a question. We'll change the subject or something. B-Ball says,
no,
what
it's on
about
this
Stefan P. from FE Core and the gyroscope videos that have come out recently? Have you seen those, Dan? I guess he wants your opinion on those gyroscope. I think that's the physical gyroscope.
As far as I know, their shit is pay-per-view. I'll go look again, but there's some form of club there to get access to their shit.
Yeah. Okay. I think
not
some
like- it's
some
not
of
like
it's
they
on
can
their
go to
site.
their-
I don't know if the deeper stuff is on their site, if there's stuff that's not publicly available. I have seen what you're talking about. It seems like it's still a work in progress, B-Ball, as far as I could tell. But no idea what's going on with that.
We're supposed to be in the truth community. You know, all this information should be at our fingertips as soon as we find it out.
And
Yeah.
the people spoke back. I went out to bring information to people. The people spoke back and were stonewalling and gatekeeping. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Ruhit,
And
go ahead.
I'm
You had
so
a
pissed.
oh, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah,
Thought you were finished.
Just
I'm just saying I'm so pissed that I'm trying to learn Discord, right? So in order to learn it, I made a server, of course, right? Well, I'm so pissed because I have nothing to promote for Flat Earth. There's no school, there's no church, there's no mountain, there's nothing I can invite people to who look me in the eye in the street and they go, how do I join you guys? And I go, don't, your family's going to hate you and you won't keep your job. So what good am I in the street anymore if that's what I'm going to tell people? So I invented Flat Earth Anonymous, and
You won't lose your
Flatanon.
job.
Well, a lot of people are.
Flat Earth
I just think
Anonymous, huh?
Yeah, I did a server as Flat Earth Anonymous. I think that's totally cool. There's 3 different chat rooms. There's Flatanon for the support groups for, let's say, the families. Maybe wives could figure out how to deal with us or something like that. And then
My wife's flat earther, so I don't have to worry about that.
it's just obviously we're going to bitch and we're going to bitch. And at some point, let's say you did go get a job and they wanted you to not be a flat earther. Well, you go, oh yeah, well I go to Flatanon. I go to Flat Earth Anonymous twice a week, So in the meantime, it's a decent name for newbies and a nice sticker because Research Flat Earth doesn't work well anymore. The Flat Earth Anonymous really promotes a lot of thought when you see it if you saw it as a sticker. People go, what? There's flat earthers who can't stop flat earthing? You know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah. No, I like it. Just put the link in the chat if you want to invite people. I'll send it out in the chat here.
I like
to
it
be
because
honest,
I won't.
I have to
stop.
do it another time because I poured water in my keyboard and I turned off my laptop, my desktop, and I got a fan running on my keyboard.
Okay, no problem.
So,
Ruhif, you had a question.
yes. Oh no, just quickly on this plane dipping down, thousands of feet per minute, right? So feet per minute is a linear speed. Mathematically, you guys are messing it up. It's not a linear speed; it's an acceleration.
well, we're
The
using it
answer
to
is
gather
not.
distance. We're looking to get a distance reference from it only. In
Yeah.
other words, the curvature of the Earth isn't going to be affected by speed.
Well, the amount of drop per minute will be affected by speed.
No, that's what they
Yes,
keep
if you're
saying.
flying
You're
at
driving me
500
nuts. No. The
We
speed does not
we should
change.
talk about this. Is this Dan on the water or something? We'll chat about this
yeah.
later. I'll DM you later.
Okay.
The answer for the question is an acceleration, not a speed. I even did a video on it a couple of years ago. But anyway, I'm home. The way I sort of made an analogy of this problem is to actually treat the plane like it's in orbit. All right. So you know how like an actual orbit of a satellite or something, has no propulsion, but it's traveling at a speed and it has to match gravity, right? It has to match the acceleration of gravity. You can kind of analogize that with a plane as to what effectively what gravity needs to be to put that plane in orbit at that speed. That's a good analogy for it. The answer is an acceleration, not a speed. That's all I wanted to say.
Can you
Okay, sorry, now
demonstrate any of that gibberish?
this is a mathematical problem. The
Yeah,
answer
can
to
you
that mathematical problem
demonstrate
is
any of it?
acceleration, not speed.
Hey,
Mathematically,
that's why I
yes.
like what Rob just said, because now we're talking about space-time bullshit.
No, this is a mathematical question.
Thank you,
I'm
Riff.
telling you the answer to the
Appreciate it.
mathematical question. The answer to the mathematical question is not a speed in feet per minute or whatever. It's, meters per second squared. The answer is an acceleration, not a speed. That's my point.
So
Anyway, what's your name?
I understand where you're coming from, Rob. I get it. But what we're talking about is this proof and these pamphlets that people are using to pass out to non-flat earthers, I assume, to show them, say, hey, look at this is kind of a ridiculous thing about the globe. Did you realize that what you believe includes you believing in this ridiculous thing? Isn't that ridiculous? Doesn't it make more sense if it's flat? It's a communication device, is the way I'm looking at it. So
yeah, but the question
But
is,
if the math is wrong though, and we're handing out these pamphlets to people, and they're like, these guys are idiots. Their math's not even right.
no argument there.
Yeah,
I'm 100% on board and having the right answers, of course.
Yeah, I'll go and check the math.
That's my biggest
I'll go and
fear.
check the math later.
My
I'll go and
biggest
check the
fear.
math later and get back to you. But the answer is not a linear speed. The answer is an acceleration. But Eric Debay's numbers may be wrong as well, which I'll check later. Anyway, Dan on the water, Dan the waterman.
How do you know the answer? How do you know the answer to this, but you still don't know how water boils?
Let's let Dan respond to Ruhif. Dan, you look like you wanted to respond to what he said.
Everything's about distance, not speed. It does not matter what speed you progress across the arc of the radius of the Earth. The speed does not change your calculation. It's not exponential like these guys kept telling me. Weiss keeps telling me it's exponential. I said, Weiss, the calculation is exponential. The Earth is round. I mean, so you're not going to change your formula right in the middle. So
if you travel 500 miles, you have to drop.
Why are you letting
We're not traveling 500 miles. You're traveling 500 miles an hour. So
I know, but if you were to travel,
nobody said you're going 500 miles. Nobody said that.
Okay, but if you were to travel 500 miles, it wouldn't matter how fast you were going. You would have to drop X amount of feet.
But if you were going 36 inches, the drop is the same. The amount of distance you cover does not change that arc. It does not.
That's why the answer is an acceleration, not a speed. Yeah. Anyway, I will deal with you later.
I don't know where you get either. It's a distance. We're dealing in distances, not speeds or.
Oh, that's all spin. What Ruhif just did is spin, because if you've got, let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say your speed is 500 miles an hour. He's saying it's not about your speed, it's about acceleration. So please tell me, if you're traveling at 500 miles an hour constant, you're not going to accelerate.
The answer to how much you have to dip the nose down is an acceleration, not a linear speed of like 2,000 feet per minute. I will DM down the waterman later. I've got to go.
Not
going
to
guys later.
Okay. So we don't have to dip the nose down X amount of feet. We have to accelerate.
That's what I'm telling you. It's a magic trick. He is giving misdirection. It's not. It's not about acceleration.
Well spotted, Travis. Well spotted.
We haven't even seen what he's coming up with. You guys you guys are very certainly possibly right, but I would be curious to see the answer he comes up with. He is good at math and he knows his imaginary ball model. So anyway, but yeah, I do think that it makes more sense to communicate it in some kind of distance that people understand. You give them some kind of acceleration number. People know what that means. You're trying to communicate with non-scientific people for the most part. Probably a mix of both, right?
What you're
question
trying to
now,
tell
though,
people.
is, are we open? Are we open, or are we parroting shit from 5 years ago? Are we all brain dead? Is
Yeah.
what I'm worried about.
No, we
Yeah,
should
but
not
see,
be
I-
parroting. We should be open to new information. We should be open to saying, I was wrong. We should be open to adopting a new position. I don't think we should ever close our minds.
I got gatekeeped
Brandon.
big time. Big time.
Would
They
you-
all shut me down.
How about these flyers? Stop handing them out.
Hmm.
Find another
What's your
way.
guys'-
Get the word out.
Well,
Yeah,
what would be
fuck
the
the flyers.
alternative way
Take that money.
that you're
Fuck the
suggesting, Rob?
flyers. You don't need flyers to promote the truth.
They
How do
just
we do
happen to
it?
be printed by other people in great numbers, and in my research, it goes back to Eric. It's beyond the flyers, and I didn't even bitch till Bob said it himself. That's when I went after Bob.
If you want
You know,
flyers,
so-
go out and make your own flyers with your own proofs on them.
Yeah, otherwise we'd all be on the clown tour. I get it. I get it.
Anyway,
What's your guys' take?
go ahead, Don.
What's your guys' take on hypersonic jets being? Well, they so-called flew a couple of them. They go a mile a second. So from LA, they claim from LA to New York is 2,000 miles away, give or take. That will be 30 minutes. So it's usually like a 6-hour flight, give or take.
I hope they have comfortable seating,
Huh.
because you're gonna be sunk back into that pretty hard.
A mile a
Right.
second?
Yep, a mile a second.
Is that what's that?
Yep.
What are they getting up?
600 miles an hour, right?
What are they?
About
Are they
5,000.
getting up high?
You're not
Are they getting
traveling
up?
100 miles or an hour, bro.
Huh?
Are they getting up high? What?
Huh? I second that, huh?
How do they account for curvature with that though? There's just no way.
No,
No
they
way,
don't.
dude.
Faster. They do it faster.
Dan, I thought for sure,
That's funny. That's funny. What a mess.
Dan, I thought for sure you would have gotten the joke because I was trying to do the policeman pulling me over for 96 miles an hour. I wasn't out
Uh-huh.
for, so that was my joke.
Oh,
They're not
I
traveling.
got it. It's not funny anymore because you had to explain it. But if I would have caught it at the time, it would have been funny. It was like a callback thing. I got you. I want
So,
to
what
point
do they-
out this. Jimbo mentioned something that you were on, which is flat earthers versus scientists, right? I'm showing it in the Discord on the screen. Which one are you in here, Dan? Which of these people are you? You there, Dan?
Yeah, I booted myself.
Oh, I just brought up that video, flat earthers versus scientists. Can we
He's on
trust science?
the left. He's on the left next to Shelley.
Okay, so you're the one in the middle then. That's you. Okay.
Yeah, let me just. I'll give you some quick back thingy on this. Mark Sargent was invited by these people. They didn't want to fly him in, so they picked local people. And he suggested Wendell, and to Wendell I suggested Shelley, and then in return Shelley suggested myself. And I think the biggest thing for me that went on here is that if there were 3 Christians on that panel, we'd have gone down as a purely Christian movement. And I hate to battle the Christians or any unity on the religious front, but damned if I wasn't there to make sure that we represented science and weren't discredited as being just a religious movement. So that's a weird posture that you'll see here, because they were trying to make it religion versus science. And they were literally editing it to try and make it that kind of war. And it really, it wasn't. And if everyone notes, those guys are not scientists. Those 2 guys that worked together, the same guys that were on Nat Geo that we worked with at Salton Sea. And I've got plenty of evidence of them lying, and video of them, misunderstanding the information that we saw on the supposed horizon that they said would happen at 3 miles.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
Of course, it
I
didn't.
remember that.
Oh yeah.
And
I
the
got
third guy
picture.
was a theoretical physicist, a theoretical science.
No
I'm sure
way,
they give you
dude.
a theoretical degree on that. Theoretical science.
You can still see the stripe, yo, and the horizon past the boat.
Totally.
Dude,
So
didn't
imagine
Lemon
when I got there. Imagine when I got there, I had no competition. These guys weren't gonna kick my ass. You know,
that
like
wasn't
I
honest,
didn't.
dude. They weren't honest at all, dude.
Yeah.
At all.
And to tell you the truth, the editing was done in my favor because I was really more hot-headed, and they cut that out. And they tried to make Shelley look maniacal because she didn't sleep when she drove up, and she had a bunch of coffee in her, and she looked maniacal. But really, I was the maniacal one. And they edited it to make me look more mellow. So I got really lucky that I looked sane and safe on that, and not as pissy as I was, because I was ready to fuck those guys up.
Dan, why did they cut out the scene where you guys used the balloons? This girl named Lemon or something like that, she posted on her YouTube. You guys were doing it, and you guys actually seen the balloons, but they didn't include that.
They had to scrap the entire experiment because we could see the experiment on the ground.
Yeah.
I
Shit.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And if there's even greater infrared stuff done by Mike Ball that's showing Jaren's truck parked on the other side. And it's just, you can see the entire parking lot. You can see everything. You know, it's like 9 miles now, 10 miles for us is child's play. And it's such a trip to think about. It's like how, you know, it's just
so over water.
Yeah, most people don't have a place to play with to go across from each other at 10 miles across from one another. They just really don't. Hey, this whole thing with ships, you know, they go, I get, you know, Sean Hawkins. Oh, how come you can't see a container ship at 50 miles away? It's like, put a laser on it. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Point a laser at me 50 miles away and I can see that. But you're not going to see any object, you know, at 50 miles away because it's just too damn small. You need a light source to see things far away.
Yeah, that's one of Bob the Science Guy's things too. You should see 80 miles. I remember you and him were arguing about that one day. I remember it's just such a ridiculous position to take.
Light doesn't carry that far. You know, the image, it just doesn't. It's just not going to happen like that.
Well, the ground also seems to rise too, like due to our perspective or opticals.
I want to tell you, we did this salt flat stuff, and we were just separating on a flat road at 10 miles, and then Wendell and Sydney Silver were sitting in the car, and I'm all, oh, look, there's a laser. And they didn't even get out of the car. And then when I went to hit them back, which they spotted, so we're now 10 miles apart, it felt so uphill to me to point level that it made me think of that Picard guy when he says it has upturned edges. It just feels that way. It looks and feels that way. It's another optical effect like the horizon. And it just appears uphill because there's more sky above you than ground beneath you. And when it comes to an even center point, it appears to rise.
Yep.
So I just want you to, I want you to know, I was just thinking Picard because I couldn't believe how upward it felt for me to just get it level. Because I pointed this laser to the ground and I looked down the road straight down where I saw a laser coming at me, you know, so I knew where I was pointing and it felt uphill, man. It felt uphill. It was weird. All I could think about was that Picard guy. It has up to the edges. That's all I can imagine. But man, I'm so lucky to have been 10 miles away from my friends pointing stuff because it just gives me so much confidence that, you know, they don't know what they're talking about. And to think that Nat Geo went and, you know, is able to orchestrate lies and such, it's a nasty situation right now. I'm switching gears. I'm not going to convince anyone. I'm going to try and have fun. I can't spend the last 20 years of my life being pissed. And, you know, flat Earth just isn't giving it to me right now. There's no love, and it's sad, man.
It is, but you can't take it too seriously, Dan. You can't let yourself get sucked into this emotionally. We're all emotionally invested in it to a certain extent. But to take it so seriously, not be able to laugh, not be able to have fun, you know, always hating on Globers, you know, having this animosity constantly, I've just found that I don't need it. It doesn't, I can disagree with these guys. They can disagree with us. We can talk, you know, without any of that animosity. But it's a difficult place to get your mind to, you know, at least it was for me.
Well, my problem, everything I deal with problematically is flat earthers, not.
Yeah, that's even tougher. Yeah, I get you there.
And that's why Patricia left. That's why, you know, flat earth asshole left. I mean, that's why everyone's really just keeps walking away. It's so sad. I feel like everyone already walked away. I feel like the first wave basically walked away. The second wave was probably me, my era, and that we're looking at a third wave of young people, and they're going to join the Flat Earth Society because nobody's standing up against that. They're going to join Eric, and hopefully that's not a problem, because what do we have for someone to join? If somebody goes, oh, how do I hang with you guys? I just look at them and shake my head now. I'm so sad. You know, I spent 9 hours on doing flat earth shit in the street Saturday night. And, you know, people come with me and go, oh, how do I join? I go, there's nothing to join. Don't bother. I mean, that's fucked up.
Yeah, you don't want to join anything. Anytime you start creating an organization, you're getting into trouble. When you create a hierarchy, you're in trouble.
But the young people are being challenged that their mental health is not in order. They're being told they're crazy, and they need to stand with people that go, dude, you're not crazy, you're cool. They need it. Yeah. Their life depends upon it. Their life depends upon it. People's lives are getting fucked up from this. Their families are turning against them. And obviously, if you're 1 in 100, you're doing the wrong, you must be wrong. If you're going against the grain, we must be wrong, technically, you know.
Here's the thing, Dan. I do not disagree on like a flat earth program or something like that for real science and all that type of stuff, like an academic. You know what I mean? Like kind of how like NASA has their setup. I would like my tax dollars go to that.
Sure. But guess what? You know, we have something like Zulu One talks about something called Flat Earth University. Mark talks about it. And I fucking jammed them. I jammed Bob, Weiss, all of them. I go, fucking don't talk about it unless you're going to do it. I go, right now we got Zoom calls and we got schools switching over to a format that's online. So we can switch this to a format. We can teach actual science alongside of the theoretical science and give actual degrees. We could find if it's legal in any state. We can put together a curriculum. We can put together an actual college. And then at least I can be an alumni to something. Damn, I'm pissed. I want to be part of something. I know this, you know, oh, it's not a group. But that's kind of conspiratard shit. I want to know where my friends are. I fucking hang out with you guys. You know, fuck.
I just don't think we're there yet, Dan. I just, the way this community is, you know, you almost to start an organization like that, you need a leader. And I feel like, you know, no offense to anybody out there, that no one who has that big a presence is stepping up and kind of being that leader. You know, not that we necessarily need a leader, but to do something like that, you do.
I need a funding, really.
Yeah. It's hard to trust people in this arena, that's for sure.
I thought B.O.B. was gonna do something, but I don't know. I haven't seen nothing with him with it.
And I just thought that FE Core was going to take care of the upper structure of anything that needed legal issue. You know, that the legal issue be covered. You know, whether or not we need to call ourselves a church or call ourselves a group or what legally is to our advantage, and that there was someone looking after us. That's why I'm pissed at FE Core, and I'm pissed that Bob used it against me. I'm a member of FE Core, so you're an idiot. Oh, really? Because I hung out with you guys. You don't have shit. So fucking pissed at them.
I can tell you this right now, though, Dan. Flat Earth is not going anywhere anytime soon at all.
Flat and stationary?
There's more people waking up, dude. There's more people waking. You gotta think, seeing what's going on in the world today, dude. People gotta wonder, like, what's really going on? It's not going anywhere.
How do I?
I agree with you. I don't think it's going anywhere either. There'll be ebbs and flows. There'll be a you know, like a flat Earth 2.0 explosion at some point.
Yeah.
It's not
Right,
going to be
dude,
another
the
100
Butterwall.
years before the next big flat Earth blow up.
What do you think about the Butterwall, Brandon?
Do
Butterwall?
did I get a camera going? Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't
You
see
guys
Teen
check-
Titans? The episode? They're just putting flat Earth out there, dude. They're putting it in TV shows, cartoons, movies.
No, I didn't see
Putting
that.
it out there. Yeah, you definitely. It's a Teen Titans episode.
Oh, okay.
You guys, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
He's
No?
he's got his camera open.
Oh, camera. Okay, yeah. Let me share you for the audience.
Hey Don,
So
how old was
I
that?
went to a thrift store and bought a clock, right? And I popped it out the mechanism of the clock. It's slightly domed, if you can tell. And put in an AE map for like $6. I ended up with a portable demo model of flat Earth right there.
That's not where you're living, is it, Dan?
That's behind where I'm living. I'm not living in this box. That's what you mean.
I'm just.
And then it turns out that if you get a flashlight going behind this, you can project the sun and moon. I doubt you can see it here in the sun, but you can project the sun and moon's behavior from behind, and you can show how you can illuminate half of it. So it's pretty cool for like $6. I got the clock at a thrift store for $5, and then obviously $1 worth of printout. I mean, as much as people hate the dome model, it's really good for conversation. Pretty damn good for.
Sure, just to
Hey,
show
check it
someone
out,
that has
Brandon.
never seen the concept before, because that's one of the tough things to wrap your head around, is just the basic concept of what a flat Earth would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Check it out. Check it out. The second one, not the first one. The second one, it talks about the whole thing, and then they actually run it into the Butterwall. It's hey, more power to them. Keep putting it out there. You can make fun of it all you want. You're just keeping it relevant.
I definitely can't play that on the show, but I will put the link in the YouTube so people can check that out.
Look at it, Butterwall. The Titans reached the edge of the Earth.
How old is that? Do you know?
I think it's recent. I don't think it's that old, actually. Yeah, February 18, 2021.
Wow, and I thought everybody complained about cartoons. Now you're showing cartoons.
Go to sleep, paid.
Yeah, but he's showing a cartoon and he's saying, hey, this is a cartoon. It's pretty cool. They're mentioning it. You guys show us cartoons and go, this is real.
No, it's
That's
a
the
model
difference.
of reality.
See the difference there?
The difference is you're actually using cartoons as proof, and you use cartoons as models.
I didn't say it was proof at all. I'm
The
saying
only proof
keeping
you
it
guys have
relevant.
is cartoons. So
Incorrect. There's
Okay.
plenty of proof. You just have to ignore
Okay.
it all.
Okay.
12 days from now, it's a perfect time to go get your own proof, but you won't do it.
Who are you talking to, Brandon?
That would be paid NASA shill.
Oh, I've got him muted.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
do
Aether
you?
Band. Yeah, Aether Bandinus
Travis.
has me muted.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do him like that?
No. I mean, he's muted for me. I can't hear him. I can't stand the guy. He makes me want to kick puppies.
Yeah,
Dude.
because he's so full of shit that his eyes are brown. But
well, at least turn him up a little bit so you don't talk over him, but just enough to hear his squealing. So anyway, Mark says awesome comeback. Yeah. Okay. So what else is going on, Travis? I saw a lot of analysis from you over the weekend. You sent me 2 videos. I didn't get a chance to look at them in detail because you wanted me to change the levels. But what did you see in those videos? And is there anything you want to show us, or you want to wait until you analyze it a little more?
Yeah, I mean, I can give me a couple minutes and I'll pull some stuff up. I'll be ready in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. You got some good footage of the bridge. I think people would like to see that. Okay. What else is going on? What's going on? Let's say hello to everybody that's out there. Percentage Fug XD. Oh, just dropped off. Chad, what's up, Chad? Got Don Geo, Effie, does not equal reality, illegal. Rakia Life. Rob on the level, who's been pretty vocal so far. SE Montreal, Sin Cleanser, and the real Bob Dole have joined us as well. So everybody, that is who is in the chat right now. All those people. Okay. Everybody's suddenly quiet. So, hey, Dan, not too often we get to talk to you. What do you think is the best proof that you've seen recently? The best video, the best experiment, whatever that you've seen recently. Can you think of one? Oh, he must have walked away. So I'll tell you what the one that I thought was conspiracy. What is his name? Taboo Conspiracy. His, what was it, 21 mile?
Yeah, dude, that was nice. Yeah.
Right?
That's 235 feet of curvature drop. So a great amount missing.
A huge amount. And then to follow it up, you know, he's got this 21 mile. There's another 19 mile. I mean, we've got a lot of laser tests at this point.
Well, what about the one with Dr. John D with the windmills that were 11 miles away? So he was 3 feet off the ground. Now, it's speculation, but he emailed me and told me how far on the other side was France, right? And it was 92 miles away. You can see the land. You did the video, actually, or it was probably who run the show before?
Ranty.
Yep, he did a video on that, man. It was nice.
Just one more laser test or long range observation, and we should have it in the bag.
Yeah, I hear you, Jeremy, but they are pretty impressive, especially when it's repeated over and over again. But I'm with you. We need some kind of physical test. Oh, I know White's Word is working on his, and the ground is thawing up here in Michigan. So I can start doing something up here.
Yeah. Me too, man. I'm definitely
Yeah.
It's nice, ain't it now, Brandon?
Oh, it's 65
Michigan
degrees today. It's freaking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice out today.
I feel like my bones are thawing out. Seriously, I hate wintertime. But yeah, so I'm thinking about doing something along the same lines as White's Word, maybe just slightly different. Not as long. I don't know. I'm thinking about some different options. Something quicker, just to kind of, you know, fail fast, or do kind of a smaller proof of concept with the same general idea as he had.
All right.
But I see a lot of chatter in our Discord that there's no ballers that think that that'll work, that experiment will work, and it makes me wonder how come all of the ballers think that experiment will be a waste of time and seem to want to discourage White's Word, but all the flat earthers are enthusiastic about it. Why the dichotomy between the two?
It's because of the SAG calculators.
Nerve-wracking.
They say you can't. According to the SAG calculator, White's Words isn't going to come off the ground. No matter how hard you pull it, it's going to break.
Oh.
So basically just a calculation, the mathematics, they think it'll just never come up, so it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
They're presupposing.
It's funny because they changed their tune. At first, Rumpus and others were like, yeah, this is a good idea. I think this will work. And they're helping us try to plan it and whatnot. And then it kind of turned after a couple days. Found that very curious. C4, $2 super chat. You're going to take my money and like it. Yes, sir. Thank you, C4. Appreciate it. Anyway, I still think it'll work. So we'll see. If people don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch it in detail with White's Word. I should put out a small video just explaining what it is, so that when we talk about it, people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, when you broke it down last time, man, it made perfectly. I got it right away.
It only took me 10 hours to get it.
Yeah. I was, when we were talking about that Sunday, Jeremy, I was like, Why isn't Jeremy more excited about this, man? This is what he's been looking for.
Right.
I didn't. When you showed me the diagram, I didn't look at it close enough to realize what was going on.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Brandon, he broke it down. He broke it down really, really simple and smooth. So that's probably why.
Well, I gave him a lot of practice the day before, so that's probably why.
He did. I knew what not to say, how not to explain it.
Right.
But yeah, here it is. Just real quick, 30 seconds for people who haven't seen it. This is Whitesword's experiment. It's his initial drawing, so it may have changed somewhat. But the general idea is you take a 10-kilometer line, stretch it over 10-kilometer span by the beach, so it's level ground, levels, sea level ground, and you're going to hang it over 2 1-meter poles on the end and pull it tight. On a round Earth, it's going to put pressure downwards and pull the line into the sagittal, and you're going to measure that pressure at B, C, D, E, and F. And on a flat Earth, it's going to pull the line upwards and put upwards pressure on the line. So you would measure upward pressure at those points. So it just takes advantage of the difference between the geometry of the two models. So those of you who like geometry should be interested in this, in my opinion.
No refraction needed, or no excuses, nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
They can't make some bullshit excuse up with birds pooping or refraction or whatever.
Right. No more refraction, Peyton. That's a shield.
And that's what I think you were alluding to, Jeremy, is the laser tests are all right, but they always give somebody an out where they can just say, oh, it's refraction. It's bending over the curve and whatnot. And we want to take as many excuses out of the equation as are humanly possible.
I mean, we should all know at this point, there's no long range observation it's neat to do and it's cool, but we're wasting our efforts by doing them.
And why is that?
Because you got bitch ass excuses afterwards. Oh, refraction, without knowing anything about it or how it works.
Ad hoc. It's called ad hoc. You just make shit up.
There's no refraction at solar noon from the sun. There's 30 odd minutes.
No offense, but when we need a chemistry question answered or something about Air Force piloting, we'll give you a call, Peyton.
Yeah, well, when you know something about refraction, then maybe you should talk about it.
Yeah, but I don't think you're qualified, right? I think you're just going to ad hom people.
I'm not qualified. Look who's talking.
Yeah, about refraction, right?
Nobody's
you don't know
qualified.
anything about refraction.
Nobody's qualified.
I know a little bit, but like I said, I don't know anything about being a pilot in the Air Force.
Yeah, you don't know anything about much. That's true, Rock. Yeah.
Listen, nobody's qualified over this refraction thing because they've never proven. Nobody's qualified when it comes to refraction because we've never actually proven that it works the way they say by making a straight line and by making a straight line and then.
Yes, they have. They've observed stars refracting on the horizon.
Okay, stars are not what we're talking about.
Doesn't matter. Stars are points of light.
Yeah, it does matter. Yeah, it does.
Why does it matter, Mr. Aether? Why does it matter? You have to make up some silly because your Aether band shit. You just made it up or what?
Oh yeah, keep going. Tell me more.
The angle.
No, you want to tell me more about the Aether band.
No, you tell me. You go. Tell me about the stars in the sky, Paid.
The stars in what?
The stars in the sky.
When you were in the Air Force, how many stars could you see when you were at altitude? Tell us about that.
Actually, depends on whether it's daytime or nighttime, and
are they physical?
That's always important.
To see the stars, I would choose nighttime.
Okay.
So tell us all about that.
It depends on how far away you were from large.
What was your longest flight from where to where? How many stars do you think you saw? You think you
see quite a few stars over the Pacific?
Did you have any? You got any video of that or pictures or like self? You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to take pictures of the stars because of the lights in the cockpit, but you have to turn the lights down in the cockpit. You know.
Did you ever do that? I mean, that's awesome.
Sometimes,
right at altitude.
Once in a while.
You got any you can share?
No, again, because taking pictures with a handheld camera through the lens, through the window of an airplane of stars is difficult.
Why?
Well, you said you took some. I was asking if you had any to share. But you said you took some.
I did, and guess what? They didn't turn out.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any to share.
That's correct.
I gotcha. No problem. It's a simple question.
No, you don't understand that your eyes.
I don't understand.
None
No,
of us
you really don't.
understands,
If you
right?
ask
That's your
questions like
go-to.
that.
That's where you're going with
That's
this.
that's his go-to.
That's correct. Yeah, because you know, if you think that you can take pictures of stars with a handheld camera, can you do that from the ground?
I don't think I can. I'm not in the Air Force. I'm not a pilot in the
Yeah.
Air Force. I asked you, as a pilot in the
No,
Air
when
Force,
you're standing on
did
the
you take
ground and you
pictures of
take
the
your cell
stars?
phone out. No, I tried, but it didn't work.
Okay, cool.
Can you take pictures of the stars on the ground with your cell phone?
I don't know. I've never really tried.
Yeah, why don't you try it and tell me how it comes out? Let me know.
Is that what you want to see?
What's that going to prove? We're talking about
Yeah.
apertures. We're talking about
Exactly.
apertures, Bade.
You're talking about apertures and exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So you were a pilot
This is
in the
why-
Air Force? I think I must have missed this previously.
That's
Hayden
correct.
Mr. is that right?
That's correct.
What kind of plane? Jets or cargo planes or what?
KC-135s. KC-135s, air refueling planes.
Oh, refueling. Oh, cool. Were you doing the mid-air refueling stuff?
Yep.
Wow. Where you got to hang that little dongle and try to hit the hole?
Yeah, they always joked about that. See, we're the male ones, and the receivers were the female ones. But
I bet
you couldn't say that after there got to be too many girl pilots. You couldn't talk about that anymore.
Oh yeah. That took a lot of. I was in combat arms too, and that took some of the fun out when they started mixing it in. It led to other fun, but a lot of trouble as well.
I was gonna say, you guys
What
are.
speed is that typically done at? The refueling part.
Depends on the airplane. Usually somewhere around 200 to 300 miles an hour.
So different, like if it's a high-speed jet or a prop plane.
Yeah, if you're
the speeds
refueling
would
a
be different.
C-130 or an A-10, you go really, really slow. If you're refueling the SR-71, you're going really, really fast.
Ever refuel SR-71?
I was based at Beale when they were there. Yes.
Wow. So you were piloting the refueling plane.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be cool as crap.
Oh, actually, no, it wasn't anybody's first choice. I mean, if you wanted really new, I mean, if I was going to lie to you, I'd tell you I was an F-15 pilot or something, you know?
No, I'm saying to see that plane in the
Oh,
air.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that part.
Actually, the takeoff was the coolest part. But that's another issue.
Seeing the flat Earth was probably the next coolest thing, huh, Paige?
Yeah, except if you got up high enough, you could actually begin to see the curve. But that's
bullshit.
No, seriously.
It's fucking.
You get high enough.
How high were you when you saw the curve?
You begin to see the curve around 50,000 feet. Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit,
50?
dude.
Begin to see it.
Fucking bullshit. Why do you lie to us?
out
Why
there.
would you come in here?
That was a
It's out there,
nice
man.
lie to
story.
all these good people.
And no, I'm not lying. I'm telling you, when you got up that high, you could begin to see the curve.
How?
So you,
How
wait,
so?
wait. Do you account for the curvature? Did you account for it?
Yeah, all the time when you navigate, when you fly anywhere, you account for the curvature. You fly great,
No,
great
you
circle
fucking
routes.
don't. Why are you?
Yes, you
still
fucking
lying
do.
to us?
You fly
You know
great
what? I was
fucking circle
interested
routes.
into your story, and then you messed it up.
No, I didn't mess it up. I'm telling you the truth. Great circle routes are a real thing. If you
Why
fly
did
from
you start
California,
pathologically lying to us? All of
if
a
you
sudden.
fly from California to England, you will fly over Churchill and Hudson Bay. You will not fly over New York City.
Do you fly in a straight line from A to B?
Within reason, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
So
they're-
that's all you did was fly in a straight line from A to B, unless you were turning to go somewhere. That's it. That's all you did. Doesn't have anything to do with no fucking great circles. There's no difference between what you did
circle route.
and when I get up from my fucking living room couch and walk into the kitchen. I go from A to B.
That's correct. But what route do you do when you go from California to
Straight line, bro.
England?
You go
Yeah,
from
straight line.
point
Where's the
A
straight line
to
take you?
point B.
Where's the shortest straight line from California to England?
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the curvature, bud.
I know what he's talking about. It's
What do you think
nonsense.
the
But
straight line
here
is the
was my
curvature,
question
man?
for you that I was
The great
leading up
circle route
to.
is the curvature.
So what?
I guess
When
Dor-
you're flying the plane, what do you have to do to account for curvature or Earth
You're
spin?
correct. Okay, listen to me. I've
One
told this
thing.
before. When you are flying the airplane, you really don't do. You could fly the airplane over a flat Earth. You could not navigate the airplane over a flat Earth. The airplane flies like it's on a flat Earth. It does not navigate.
You have no idea.
So there's no
if
you have-
difference.
like
There's
a
nothing you can
flat Earth,
pinpoint
huh?
and go, I had to do this because the Earth is a globe.
Great circle routes,
From
navigation.
point A to
is-
point B, you do that on a flat Earth too. You go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Except when you go from point A to point B, you fly a route that is a great circle route.
So do you
Yeah, you
deviate
don't know that.
from a
Right.
straight
You don't
line
know that.
when you
Left and
go
right.
from point A to
Yes,
point
you
B?
do.
Left and right.
Are you purposely
You get
deviating?
it.
left
That's
and
the
right.
route you're flying.
Dude, you turn left and right. That's it. You dip more left and right than you do. You don't dip at all. What
Piece of string. Take it from California to England and tell me where the string goes. Once you pull it tight, that's the great circle.
Straight line. Straight
Yeah, it's a
line.
straight line. But where's that straight line go? From California to England.
If it's a straight line, it's not curving, dipshit.
What do you mean? Where does it go? It goes from
Where's it
point
go?
A to
What's
point
the-
B.
What's the
If
route?
it's a
though?
straight line, it's not going over a fucking hump now, is it?
What's the route from point A to
Straight
point
line
B?
curve? Hold on.
The
Are
shortest
you one
line.
of those weirdos that
Listen
think
to me.
straight line curves?
It depends on if you what projection you put it on.
Are you one of those
I'm talking
weirdos
about
that think
physically.
straight lines curve?
You're putting it on
If
a
you
ball.
put it on a Mercator projection,
Physically.
yes.
Mercator?
Mercator.
Mercator.
So you're using
Dude,
a flat
physically,
Earth
do you
map to
account for curve?
navigate. And
Physically.
fly in
I
a
drive a
straight
Mercator.
line.
Actually, the
Benz.
Mercator map is a projection of the globe on a cylinder, but okay.
He's using a projection from the globe, which is a projection from a flat Earth. So yeah, it's all fucked up. He's using a fucked up projection
it's
and
the
then
other way
saying,
around.
my line's not straight
No,
on my
when-
map.
that's how
a
you get curves.
projection, so the Earth's a ball.
Hey, do you account for
Yeah, it is
Coriolis
ball,
effect?
actually, because when you did you
You're in
account for
thinner
Coriolis?
atmosphere. Yeah, because you're in thinner
If you-
atmosphere. So you're not in lockstep
Thinner
no more.
atmosphere? What does thinner atmosphere have to do with Coriolis?
You're not in lockstep. Well, I thought the atmosphere is in lockstep with the Earth. Which one is it? Coriolis or lockstep?
You don't fucking know. He doesn't even know. He just started lying to us off the hook like 5 minutes ago.
No, I'm telling you
Yes,
the truth.
yes.
Everything I tell you is the damn truth. You know, the fact you guys are all flat earthers
hey.
and have to reject it all doesn't mean anything.
Hey, but you're in thinner atmosphere. You're in a lesser
What's that
denser
got to do with
area.
anything?
Well, shouldn't you deviate when you have different momentum? It'll be different. So you would see a motion. You would have to account for that.
No.
You don't account for motion at all.
Well, you see Coriolis as a crosswind, yeah.
No, a crosswind
Coriolis
is
is
a
the
crosswind.
wind?
A crosswind is the crosswind.
Oh, it would appear to you as a crosswind.
See, now this argument right now, if we had Bob's gyro data, would be going a lot fucking easier. You think, guys?
I mean, Bob Gyro's data that proves the Earth rotates?
Shut up, Jill. I'm talking to the
Oh,
flat
don't even
Earth.
go there. Don't even go there. Come on.
I'm talking to the flat
you know,
Earthers,
Bob,
Jill.
Bob
Shut
15
up.
degrees of drift guy? Thank you, Bob.
He,
Thanks,
he
Bob.
got 16. He got 6. Okay,
What
you believe
about
that?
Shill? What about the LA speed story? Are you familiar with it?
Get out of here with that Bob stuff. You don't even.
Thanks,
you
Bob.
look at.
Hey,
you look
Paige,
at
Shill,
one-
Paige, you were
are you
asked a
familiar?
question.
Are
You were
you
asked a
familiar?
question, Paige.
He faded out when he asked a question.
Are you familiar with the LA speed story?
I mean, he's fading out again. I'm not hearing him.
Are you familiar with the LA speed story?
Yes, I knew Brian Schill. I'm sure it was 100% true.
So, maximum height altitude was 80,000 feet. Can you tell the audience what his
Who's talking to
personal?
me? I'm not hearing him. Did he mute me?
Can you tell the audience what his personal account, his personal experience was at 80,000 feet?
Is that data talking to me? Excuse me.
Yeah, okay, here it is. Can you tell the audience what the person's personal experience was at 80,000 feet?
You mean tell him what his personal experience
Okay,
is.
well, listen, obviously you have data turned down. Can you just turn him up
Yeah.
so you can hear
Oh,
this
that
so that we
data?
don't have to do this third party shit?
I'm sorry. I did have him muted. Go ahead, Data. I'm sorry.
So, if you remember the LA speed story, can you tell the audience what?
He's just clicking to me now.
Can you tell the audience what the pilot described as his experience at 80,000 feet?
All I'm hearing is clicks. I'm sorry.
What did the pilot describe his experience as at 80,000 feet?
You mean how far he could see?
Do you know anything about how he accounted recounted his experience. Just tell us what you know about how he recounted his experience when he was at 80,000 feet.
So what are you trying to get me to say?
On my fucking head. Can we move on to something else?
Yeah, please.
What are you trying to get me to say? No, go ahead.
We're not trying to get you to say anything. He's asking you a direct question. You said you're familiar with the story. His question is. It's a war story. It's a war story. I'm sure that he was 100% factual on it. Okay, we didn't ask you that question, Paid. Okay, listen very carefully.
You understand war stories.
I hope to God, shut up, Paid. I hope to God this is the last time for the cheap seats. You said you were familiar with the story. The question to you is, what can you tell us about how the pilot recounted his experience at that altitude?
He was telling you how far he could see and the glory of being at 80,000 feet. That's correct.
Any other detail? Any other details that you might be missing that the audience would want to know?
I mean, Scholl is no flat earther. What do you want?
Okay, so hold on. I'm asking you for what the pilot accounted for. He says clearly. He says clearly what he accounted, and I'm asking you to
a flat earther.
I'm asking you to recollect that account of what he said. And so far,
actually, that's not the interesting. The pilot, that's not the interesting part of this story.
So all you've addressed so
far. I want to hear Paid. Quiet.
Paid, stop talking over him now. You had your chance.
Why don't you tell me what he said?
No, Paid. It was very clear. All we wanted to understand was your account of what the pilot said, and all you said was, he could see really far. Okay, great. Go on mute, and shut up now, so that Data can tell us what he knows.
Yeah.
Anybody can go look at the LA Speed story and listen to his own speech and his own description. He claimed the experience was a sheet of glass. Wow. That's the best I can describe it at 80,000 feet. He himself called it a sheet of glass. I might be slightly
to the fact that there is no turbulence at 80,000 feet. Yeah.
Is this? I think I might have found the video.
He's describing how the airplane handles at 8,000 feet. Yeah.
So not only that, his instruments were perfectly level, not a bump in the instruments, and it was flying over a sheet of glass. That's his personal experience. So not on top of the fact that he's claiming that he's flying and the feeling is like a sheet of glass, looking over the horizon, he can see exceptionally far. Do you know how far he could see?
They say you could see the entire Rockies.
And beyond into Canada.
Yeah, I'm sure that he. I'm sure
is that right? Data on a plane. Is that the right?
I'm sure that's a great data point.
That's correct. So he could see right into Canada from where he was.
Plus, again, this is a war story, right?
The point of the matter is that if you want to recount,
I'm sure that no one's ever exaggerated stuff in a war story, right?
No. Hold on. No. Look at what's happened with the misdirection. At the beginning of this conversation, Paid said, "I have no problem believing that what he said was true." And now it's a war story.
Every word, because this is a military
and
guy.
Now it's a word. Now it's a war story.
Yeah. You understand?
You're
you don't
so
understand.
disingenuous, Paige. You don't know what
lie you're telling. Listen, exactly what I said, man. I'm sure that every single word he said is 100% true in a war story, right?
Wow, Paige, you are a mess, dude.
You don't understand. You don't understand.
Just go on mute. You don't understand.
This is your proof of the flat Earth. The fact that Brian Scholl. Have you ever met Brian? I've met Brian. Have you ever met Brian?
He didn't claim that to be proof. What are you talking about, dude?
Well, how come you guys are using this as some sort of proof here?
Get at it.
What's the proof here? So the proof is the airplane's flying very well at 80,000 feet. So what's the sheet of glass got to do with it? He's describing the airplane flying very smoothly.
He didn't make that claim, though.
That's what he's talking about.
But you're putting words in his mouth.
No, you're putting words in his mouth. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When you're talking about being on a sheet of glass, he's talking about the airplane being extremely, extremely smooth.
Well, I linked the video in the YouTube chat for anybody who wants to save the link and go watch it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I can tell you for a fact that Scholl is no flat earther. Well, no pilot is going to come out and admit that they're a flat earther, especially a military pilot. It takes a lot of guts. The ones that have, actually, there have been ones that have come out, but some of them have been grounded.
Yeah, they're not going to leave you up in the air. They're not going to leave you up in the air if they think you're a nutcase flat earther.
Right. Even though, as
No one-
you
no
told me,
pilot.
that there's nothing you have to do for the curvature or the Earth spin. Supposedly,
Except for navigation.
it's as if
Except
you're
for
over
navigation.
a flat Earth. But when a pilot comes out and says, "No, I think the Earth's flat," then
Except
for
for
some reason
navigation.
they're crazy.
Except from going in a straight line from point A to B. Yeah, except for that navigation.
Over a great circle
Wow, that's-
route, over a globe.
Yeah,
Like
just
when
hold on to that
you-
great circle route line. Just hold on to
Yeah.
that
Said
tight,
it was
'cause
a
that's
straight
all you
line.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean that's all I got?
That's
said it was a
exactly
straight
what I
line.
got.
That's all you got.
That's
You said it was a
exactly what I
straight line.
got.
You said
Totally
it was a
disproves
straight
your flat
line.
Earth.
You said it was
No.
a straight line.
All
from A
Payne
to B.
has is an overflowing toilet. That's all he's got.
Yo.
Yeah,
you said,
yeah,
You
come
said
on.
it was
Blue's
a
here.
straight line from. You said it was
Yeah,
a
it's a straight line.
from A to
Right.
B.
Where's that straight line from California to England? It goes up over fucking Hudson Bay. Why?
That's
Because
not
that
a
is the
straight
great-
line. That's
Yes,
not
it
a
is.
straight
It's a
line, you
perfectly
fucking
straight line.
moron.
It's a perfectly
The
straight line.
goes up and down.
Get on the get your fucking globe out. I know you got one. You're there in the school. Go
Line
find
bends
one.
Up and down.
Get a piece of string. Take your piece of
Fade in the
string. Put
bag.
one end on California, say San Francisco. Put the other end on London. Pull the string taut. And where does the fucking string take you? It takes you up.
If they're
Straight
flying a
line
flat circle, if they're
Does your
flying
straight line go up and down?
a great circle
Now you-
route on your globe, if it's a great circle route, it's from point A to point B. That's considered a straight line in your geometry on your globe.
Yes,
So
correct.
it's from A to
It's-
B, and now you're saying it's not a straight line. It can't be both.
It is a straight line. Listen to me, but it is a great circle route.
Look-
It is now when you take a go again. In
this
the
out, Paige,
meantime,
right here.
I'll tell you what.
Straight line.
You
He's
get on
saying
your
it's a straight- He's saying it's a straight line, but
Look,
it's going up
math
and
is
down
fun.
and bending.
Look,
He's saying it.
Look,
He's
math
saying
is
it's
fun.
straight.
No, it depends on
saying
your
his straight
projection.
line is-
No, you guys are you guys really this stupid,
We're
or do you
kids.
just have
Saying
to
his
totally
straight
shut
line
down
is- he's
anything
saying
that
his straight-
disproves your little
kids.
flat Earth fantasy?
Stop,
Yeah,
Don.
we're this
Don.
stupid. Teach us something.
Yo, what's going on?
Obviously,
Go ahead.
here now when you get another brain genius
We
here.
got you, Matrix.
Straight line
Paying
is
after
going up
shield,
and
paying
down.
after
And it's,
shield before you
Shut-
gets any worse. How's my mic, guys?
It's good.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Thank you.
Jeremy,
He's
go ahead.
saying it's straight
Go ahead.
line.
Go back and forth with Paid Nasser still, Jeremy. Let's let Jeremy go back and forth.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're flying in a straight line, but you have this contradictory belief that the straight line is bending.
It pretends on the project. Now listen to me. When you're flying, what would you think if you're going to fly from, say, I don't know. Let's pick two places to fly from.
Listen, dickhead, you can't fly in a straight line and then say the line's bending. That's not a straight line anymore.
It's a straight line, but the straight line is a great circle route. Do you understand that?
But that's the
not a
thing in
straight
question, though. The globe Earth, that shape. The thing that you're saying is the proof. It's the freaking thing in question, man.
Hey,
No, but see, the
Jeremy,
flight lines
let
prove
Jeremy
this.
and Flat Earth or Paid Nasser shield go
Fly.
back and forth.
Okay,
Let him have
try
all the
this.
time
Try
here.
going from us. Try going the Qantas route from, say, Perth to somewhere in South America. Say Rio de Janeiro.
Listen,
do that
buddy,
on a
I
flat
can
Earth
ask
model.
you-
Where
I
are you
can
going to
ask
fly?
you- I can
Damn,
ask you the
guys!
same
Twice
thing.
I've said this. Twice I've said this. Please let Jeremy and Paid Nasser shield go back and forth for a minute. Let's let him have just a small one-on-one, and then we can jump back in.
Do you realize that you can't be flying in a straight line and be flying on a globe at the same time?
Yes, you can. Exactly, you can. That's called a great circle route. You can fly
So
straight
you think
line.
you think straight lines bend?
Straight lines bend. It depends on how you plot them, doesn't it? Now,
No, it
if you
doesn't.
plot them on your flat Earth model, they'll bend. Yeah, that's the thing. If you
What?
plot it on a Mercator projection, it'll bend. Yes, but it's still a great circle route.
No, they don't bend. No, if you go in a straight line, it doesn't bend.
What do you mean by
That's
bend
nonsense.
now? Just constant
As
direction.
in
no
not
head.
straight. Listen, you can't fly
No,
in a
define-
straight line on a globe. You can't fly in a
Straight?
straight line on a globe. You'll be in outer space, bitch.
Oh, straight now. Now we're talking about that. Okay, you don't know how airplanes fly then if you
What do
think
you mean
airplanes can fly into space. You realize when you fly in an airplane, you stay in
Flew in
pretty
a
much...
straight fucking line. If you flew in a straight line, you would end up in outer space.
No, incorrect.
On your globe, yes. On your
No,
globe.
incorrect. You don't... Okay, when you're flying in a straight line, meaning your heading stays constant. The nose of the airplane stays pointed in the same direction.
No, your altitude is the same the entire time.
Just go ahead.
That's
He's like
correct.
retarded or something.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to him. I'd rather kick him off.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
because
telling
I'm
you, I
blowing
don't-
your
dude,
flat Earth
hey,
model out of the globe, your
hey,
flat Earth model out of the world here. Because
geometry. This is-
You just
hey,
killed the globe
hey,
model saying you
I
fly
do
in a
not kill
flat
the
Earth
globe model, you
what?
morons.
Pate, in
You
geometry,
stay at the same altitude, yes.
Pate, in a straight line, in geometry, is a straight line curved?
In planar
In
geometry, you
geometry.
mean two-dimensional
Yeah, so
Euclidean
is it
geometry?
curved? Is it
Euclidean
curved?
geometry?
Is it straight line
Euclidean geometry?
curved? It's a simple question.
In Euclidean geometry.
It's a simple question.
Reality.
In
Does a straight line curve in
Euclidean
reality?
or non-Euclidean geometry?
How about in reality? Do straight lines curve in reality?
Define straight? No. See, we're flying over the globe. The straight line means your heading doesn't change.
Two equal
Meaning your nose
points
stays
of
pointed straight ahead.
elevation. Two equal points of elevation that equal horizontal. That's straight.
Started, bro.
What is the
That's all there
word
is to
magic
it.
though? Where is it that we're not aligning both sides with the straight and the curve on page not to show? Can you clarify why is it that we don't see eye to eye on that?
Yeah, because you guys don't understand Great Circle
You
route.
don't
It's
understand.
obvious.
Shut the fuck up.
Can you do it? Can you explain it without insulting us
told
in
you
a way,
explain.
in a
I
way, in a
told
way
you how
that
to
we can
explain circle
understand
route.
it?
Yes.
You're a
globe. I know you
pilot.
have one.
So here for the audience, you're a pilot. So for the audience, is it a chord on a 2D circle when you're mapping it on a map, or do you enter in coordinates now into your console on the flight deck? Which way do you do it?
You enter coordinates. Into
Yeah,
your
right.
Machine.
Great, fantastic. So how did they do a great circle prior to entering coordinate systems into the flight deck? What would they do?
It would have a navigator who would plot it on a map.
Right, map's
Just
two-dimensional, right?
What?
The map's two-dimensional, right?
Yeah, so.
So it's two-dimensional, and it has a grid system over top of it, right?
Yeah, so.
The grid system is a mathematical quantification, but the map is a 2D distance and elevation, right? That you actually plot straight lines and angles on.
Okay, your point.
So it's Euclidean then,
listen,
right?
Cut him loose.
Yeah, it's
Please,
just
dear
not
God,
just
I'll
sweet.
super chat my entire
If you've seen a map, you'll notice that the north part of the map is narrower than the south part of the map. Why is that?
Are you talking about a
When you
grid
point-
system?
Yeah.
That's converging parallel lines?
Yeah, why?
So they're taking what, two-dimensional and turning it into spherical system? Why would they do that?
No, it's the other way around. You take 3 dimensionals and turn it into 2 dimensionals in order to do that.
The maps are 2D, dude. The Earth is only
Yeah,
distance and elevation. That's it.
The Earth is 3D.
Again, your maps are 2D, and your grid
but
system is a
they're-
mathematical quantification.
They
You understand
are
that, right?
projections of the globe onto a flat.
It's a projection, all right. It's a mathematical projection over a 2D surface. Do you understand that?
Of a 3D surface, a 3D surface onto a 2D surface.
Did you hear what I just said?
Did you hear what I said?
Map projection of a
3D
ball
surface.
on a 2D surface.
Exactly.
Do you understand
Thank
that,
you.
right?
A 3D projection onto a
So
2D.
reality, we live on a 2D surface, right?
No,
Distance and
incorrect. We live
elevation.
on a 3D surface that you could think of. You think the map is reality now. I thought you didn't think maps were reality. I thought maps are maps and reality was reality.
Measure our reality, which is height and distance. There's no curvature in the maps. It's a mathematical grid system put over a 2D surface, distance and elevation, which when we measure on Earth, when we measure from point to point on Earth, we use plane surveying, which is flat. And we measure distance and elevation. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? 100%, dude. That's why we have Cartesian and spherical coordinate. We can translate.
How can you draw a triangle onto a globe?
Both of them and have them
interchange. How can I fly a triangle on the globe and make 3 90-degree turns on that?
So now we're going to go. We're going to go from what we observe in reality, which is a 2-dimensional distance and elevation.
It's a 3-dimensional thing put onto a 2-dimensional map. Yes.
It's a grid system. The grid system is not real. There's no parallel lines in reality, bro. There's no parallel lines in reality, curving parallel lines in reality. It's a grid system put over a 2D surface, like we see in reality. We see things in 3D, but the maps are 2-dimensional because it's measured 2-dimensionally. Distance and elevation. There's no curvature measured in them.
Incorrect.
Yeah, there's also no curvature in a straight line.
Depends on how you define straight on it. Not a globe of 3-dimensional.
A straight line is 2 equal points of elevation that is horizontal. That's what a straight line is.
No, straight line is a line that has zero curvature.
That's what he just said.
Yes, on a flat surface, that's correct. However, the globe is a canonic flat surface.
So do we have
Anywhere.
the converging lines do we see? Is that due to Earth curve or is that due to optics?
Or due to Earth curve.
Oh, so when you see, let's say we have an object that's in front of us. Let me finish.
No, you're sea lining me.
I'm going to let this go for about 5 more minutes and then we'll move on, but go ahead.
Here's an example.
Here's an example.
I'm done with the sea lining.
Yeah, you're just done, dude. You're cooked. You're a cooked turkey, dude. Yeah, you are.
No, you guys don't understand that the Earth is curved, and
you're a cooked turkey, dude.
If you understand,
all maps are flat with a grid system put on via mathematics. That's it.
If I had a fork paid, I'd stick you with it. Ask me where.
You're right there from the ISS. What happened to the curve, bud?
No, let's not ask any more questions.
There was a super chat that came in from Esteban Ilabaca. Great circles are the straight lines of spherical geometry. Spherical geometry is a thing. It's intrinsically straight. And my response was, okay, so you're telling me they fly in a straight line from point A to point B. That's exactly what we would expect on a flat Earth. That is how things work. So
how do you fly?
From a pilot's point of view, I start at A, I fly straight, I'm at point B, and I flew, and then I say, I flew a great circle rope. I went from A to B, so Earth is a ball. That doesn't make any sense.
Except that when you fly from
California, it's fucking ridiculous.
England,
it doesn't make sense.
Hudson Bay. Well, how do you do that?
They have no idea that they're flying over a circle. They're just saying they are. Like, oh, I flew over a great circle.
You have to actually flatten in your system.
Why would you think it's okay to jump in the middle of my sentence?
Because you're talking shit. That's why. You're
fucking
no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
They fly from point A to B and say, oh, we flew over a great circle. In the meantime, they did nothing to adjust for it. They just say that they flew over a great circle when it could have been on a flat plane just as easy.
No. So how do you fly, say, from Perth to
in a straight fucking line? Can we move on?
You told us straight over great circle. I'll say it one last time. A great circle route on a globe is a straight line in spherical geometry from point A to point B. From the pilot's point of view, they fly from point A to point B in a straight line.
Circle route.
Period.
And a great circle route.
That's exactly the same as it is on a flat Earth.
No, because if I want to,
which is a chord, which is a chord in a circle. On a map, if you draw a circle and draw a chord, it's a straight line between a circle. That's all they're doing, dude.
That's all they're doing. It's just
the circle
geometry trick, right?
The circle Earth. That's it.
It's not a geometry trick. It's actually happening, and you guys are full of
in
shit.
reality. In reality, there is no.
How can you prove that it's actually happening? I know you say it's actually happening, but how can you prove it?
I mean, how do you prove it? How do I prove it to you? I can't prove it to you because you are.
No,
you
Here he goes.
You said it's
no, you refuse to look at the proof. I mean,
no,
you
we're asking you a question. He asked you a legitimate question, Peyton. You can't answer the legitimate question.
I told you.
You can't answer shit. He doesn't know shit.
Listen to me. I told you what the fuck to do. Get a globe. Get a piece of string. That is take it from your point A to point B. That is the great circle route.
This is your claim, over the surface of the Earth. That's your claim, but how do you prove it?
Okay, so then in the meantime, I'll tell you what. You get your flight map.
What kind of science is that?
Listen to me.
What kind of science is that?
Listen to me. Well, you don't. No, this is called trying to get you.
What kind of science are you dealing?
This is called a demonstration for third graders, man.
Why are you trying to peddle this kind of science?
You don't understand. Don't invoke science when you talk shit.
You're trying to peddle your science here, bro.
Here you are trying to talk science, and you don't understand science. This is called a demonstration for third graders.
He's getting aggressive.
Yeah, because you guys are talking so much shit that's not even funny. You listen to me. This is
your
called
whole life is a peddler of fake
science. I gotta get that out.
Travis, are you ready with your stuff,
You're
Travis?
a peddler of fake science.
You're ready. Okay.
So if you don't understand, what? 10 seconds. We're gonna have 10 seconds.
What kind of science you got there, peddler?
Final thoughts.
What kind of science you got there, peddler of science?
Data. Shut the fuck up.
No, I muted him, so I don't hear him.
Hey,
listen.
Go ahead.
This is a demonstration on how the flat Earth is wrong. You get a globe, get a piece of string, put it on your point A.
Go to bed.
You get a toy.
Here we go.
Final thoughts on this subject.
Here we go. Fuck! You guys don't even want to fucking listen.
Go ahead.
In the meantime,
go ahead.
12 days from now is a perfect time to do the air tossings experiment. Now I'll let you guys go off on your little flat Earth fantasy here. Have a good day. I'm out of here.
Oh no! Don't go.
What? He rage quit? What the fuck?
No.
So the way we
please.
I thought
the
we were
way we
nice.
prove reality.
He got more sensitive
The
when
way
I
we
called him a peddler of fake sciences.
So the way we prove that reality is happening is we get this little toy globe and put a string on it, and that proves that that's what reality happened in reality.
You didn't
Real
say
fucking
that.
nice.
bro. Only works
He
in
literally
math.
said that. He said, "This is how you prove reality. You get this little toy, you put a string on it, and boom, that's what happened in reality." There you go.
He did too. I love it. I'm gonna have to clip that
Fucking
shit
nonsense.
out. We did
Pure
get another
nonsense.
super chat from Esteban Ilbaca. Just pick 3 flights from that form a triangle. Get the distances flown, and check if the angles add more than 180 degrees. If
They don't,
do,
you
spherical
idiot. They
geometry
don't. Look at a
confirmed.
plane. Sorry.
Well, let me just
How
say the
would you
last
even-
sentence again. If they do, spherical geometry confirmed. Travis,
Yeah,
you
they're
got a
not. If you
response?
have 2 points over the surface of the Earth, those are going to make a triangle. Those are going to have an internal value of 180 degrees. You're not going to get anything else unless you impose a sphere. But if you put 3 points on any 3 different locations on the ground, that's just 3 points on the ground. They're going to
So
have...
we get up in a plane. My bad.
I'm just going to repeat myself, but whatever.
So we get up in a plane, and we check the angles that we flew. And how do we know the plane didn't fucking shift or tilt in the air? Is there any wind? Like, are we supposed to fly in a perfectly straight line from A to B 3 times? Or are we just gonna do it on a map on a globe like NASA still wanted to do?
Can I bring up something that's a glaring
Well,
very interesting.
Hold on.
Hold on. I don't know if you guys...
Let me just finish up. This guy just said to do the same shit NASA shill just said with his toy globe. Just go on a map and fucking see if the angles match up.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
again,
my bad.
look, I did this myself about a year and a half ago. I reached out to private charter flights in Buenos Aires. There's tons of them. I reached out to about 11. I think about 11, roughly. I'd have to go back and check. I asked them to fly me a charter flight from Buenos Aires to Cape Town. Okay, this is a private charter flight. I never got one reply back. Not a no, can't do it, not possible. Now, when you look at your ball Earth, it's only 6,800 kilometers apart between these 2 distances. Okay, 6,800 kilometers, what, 4,500 miles roughly, something like that. And you can't fly a plane from Buenos Aires to Cape Town. You can't charter a flight because there's no main flight that I found. With all flights leaving in that vicinity head up north, cross over, and then go down south. So they make like a V on the ball as opposing to going straight across. So maybe Brandon, I don't know if you've done that before, but I've reached out to these charter companies and got nothing back.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough sell for me. So you're telling me we're going to fly in a triangle. This whole thing that Esteban brought up, we're gonna fly in a triangle, and then when we get done, we're going to map that out somewhere. What do we map it out on? Do we map it out on a globe? Do we map it out on a projection? Do we map it out where? Because we know we went in a triangle, right? And then that's going to tell us what, and are we sure that we went straight? And it's just impractical, in my opinion.
It's ridiculous. It's the same thing NASA shill said. Get a globe and put the string on it. That's the same thing this guy's saying with his bullshit fucking triangle that's more than 180 degrees.
So here's the problem
Nonsense.
as well, is this is also another lie, because you can just reduce the size. If you wanted to put a triangle on a ball, all you'd have to do is reduce the size of it and add more tiny triangles. So it's just another bullshit geometry trick, another garb waste of time. I reached out to actual aviation places, asking them for flight paths, asking them for times, flight travel times, all that stuff. That's where I'm going to find the actual answer, not fighting over geometry.
You can get that stuff online, data. I've got it on the.
When it comes down to money, though,
Yeah.
Charter flights want money, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. But I mean, you can
I'm
get
not,
the data.
I'm not in. Yeah, there's no flights out of there, dude. I went to
I
look. I
gotcha.
I can't find any flights. That's why when I couldn't find any flights, I was like, well, maybe a charter flight will do it, right? That's why I went to the charter flights. And yeah, not one reply back. So, you tell me.
Interesting. Esteban, another super chat. No, they won't. Just do it. It's the same as arc measurements. You can measure that such
no.
triangles add up more than 180 degrees. Two ways to get the same result.
Hey, where did you get the arc from? What arc? What are you talking about? Why did you mention arc?
The angles has to be no more than what?
180.
So the only way that can work is if you take off from one point, you land like straight line, you land, then you turn the airplane 180, then you take off straight line to a certain point, and then again you turn the airplane 180 degrees, and you have to land on the same spot that you take off.
And we're gonna hope
that's real. That would be the real test of this experiment, however you want to call it.
Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? We're gonna hope
I
there's
know.
no winds blowing us off track in the air.
No, the airplanes they can account
Drift, dude.
for
You have
the air
drift.
and all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, you have drift, right? So you have to compensate for velocity.
you
and
can
angle against
compensate
drift.
for the drift and all that
So,
stuff.
yeah, but it's you're
Wind
still
and
going to be
everything.
losing.
We don't have to worry about the winds
angles.
throwing us off of our straight line.
Plus Coriolis.
No, that's why you're gonna land on a place. You're gonna turn the airplane 180 degrees. It's not doable. That's what I'm trying to say, guys.
Yeah, not doable at all.
It's not
fucking
doable.
Retard shit. It's fucking ridiculous and retarded to even
Do
think.
you
that
know
could
what's
do
not
that.
doable? Is if you lived on a ball, you should be able to fly in a straight line and make a 360-degree circle. Like fly over the equator and fly in a straight path, though banking left and right and complete a complete loop. That's never been done.
Well, I mean, you got wind. You got wind again. You can't fly in a straight line because there's going to be wind blowing you all over the place. You ever drive 50 miles an hour when there's heavy winds in your car?
Oh
It's
yeah.
fucking throwing you all over the place. You can't even drive.
I don't know about that. They got autopilot though, man. Don't they adjust for that?
It just keeps you.
You still
going in
have
the-
drift, though.
Keeps you going in the direction of your coordinate. You're going to still arrive in Los Angeles, but you're going to have veer to the left, veer to the right. You're not going to be flying in a straight line, but you're going to get to LA. Just like what Jeremy was saying, if I drive from one city to the next, but it's 50-mile-an-hour winds, I'm going to get knocked off my lane every once in a while, but I'm still going to get to the fucking city.
Right.
No doubt. All right. Well, let's move on. Appreciate the super chats, Esteban, and the questions or statements. Travis, you've been waiting for a while, and I think you're ready to show us some pretty cool stuff. So,
yeah. So, that's my I'm sharing my screen. You got it?
let me bring it up real quick for the audience.
Yeah, I got it.
Where to go?
All right. So,
I don't have it
basically,
yet. Hold on one second.
I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to do an intro while you're pulling your stuff up. You don't need me to show anything
I'm
right
ready
now.
now.
So, okay. Well, basically, what I did here at Pontchartrain is I stopped about a mile or mile and a half off of the east-west power lines, which is the Soundly power lines. So we're looking at an opposite angle. So Soundly's photographs are on the other side of these power lines. So what I did was I wanted to get different angles of view on these power lines from both sides. So I've got my camera in the passenger seat. I'm pulled off on the shoulder on I-10. You know, there's traffic whizzing by, so this camera is not going to be steady. I don't want to hear people bitching at me about my camera not being steady. What I'm going to show you right now is the image that the camera took with just the normal settings. And then it's only 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then in the next one, I'm going to go and lower the levels, and we're going to look at some stuff. And I'm interested in hearing, and I don't need you to give me your answers now. We can talk out loud, I suppose. But if you're interested in looking at this footage, I'll send you the file. But I think that I saw some really, really interesting stuff. But right now, I'm just going to push play. I'm not going to make any commentary at all, but just watch for visibility. Okay, that's what I'll say. Watch for visibility. Ready? Okay, so I'm panning out, getting a little bit of a wider angle. I'm driving toward it very slowly. I'm going to pan to the right. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here. So here's all the way into the distance. You can see the horizon, and you can see what the camera can see with the tower, with the power lines. Okay, so I'm going to push play again. So all this time that I'm moving right now, I'm changing my angle of degree this entire time. I can stop each frame, you know, and just get what 30 frames per second. Just get 30 different images per second. Okay, so I'm just driving to see what I can catch, because taking a picture is a lot harder than taking a video, and then I can get a still from it. It's a lot easier. Okay, so yeah, I know. Yes, I know. I'm aiming up at the sky. I'm trying to drive on the shoulder. Blah blah blah.
I don't see any power lines right now.
Shut up! They're not up in the air. All right, so now you got a straight line. Look at that. That's a beautiful shot right there. Look at that, straight down. Oof.
Oh wow.
Oof.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Man, that's interesting.
All right, so the next one I actually pan from. I go behind this side. It goes, you know, and it goes into a straight line, and then I go at the other side. So what I want to do right now is now go back to 25 seconds. Okay. There's 25 seconds.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but doesn't it appear that your position changes a little bit, what you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I did this. Exactly. Yes. And not only that, but if you think about the question that you just asked, each of the positions of my angle should show the same amount of deviation just from a different angle. So it's not going to all of a sudden curve when I get closer to the power lines and look down the line. It's not going to all of a sudden curve there. We're going to see the entire line from different angles. Okay, but here's 25 seconds. Can you guys see the image there at 25 seconds?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to point
Travis,
out.
do you have a quick way to enhance your contrast that would help you? That would help you considerably here in noticing more detail.
I'm going to do that next, Data. Yeah, I wanted you to see the before. Got it?
Yeah, copy that. So just to clarify, from my understanding, you're looking at it, let's say, at one axis, and as you transverse, it's changing axis, and when it does that, it's highlighting a curve. Is that what you're trying to emulate?
Oh, I'm not trying to. No. I'm not trying to emulate anything except to.
Sorry, the optics emulate that based on your axis change. That's what I meant to say.
The optics emulate. Well, I would leave that for your scrutiny. Okay. Like I said,
Well,
I'll send.
You know, okay. The example is you're looking straight on at 10 pieces, and as you change the from the Y to the X axis, and you go to an angle, the perspective will take effect, and an angular size change will happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're trying to display in the footage here?
That's part of it, sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
That's what I thought you were doing.
Okay. Yeah. So what I find interesting here is we see the bases of all of these power lines. We can see these bases go all the way out till right about here. But what I find interesting is that the power lines themselves start to lose their substance, right? It's like they disappear, but we can still see. So, you know, we could trace this line. That would be something to just trace and see where that goes all the way out till here. Okay, but anyway, here's 25 seconds with the normal shot, okay? Here's the same I can go right back up and then go to 25. Let me see. It was clearer when I first brought it up. I lost it.
My stream blew up on this end.
Huh. That's funny. Let me go right there. I'll just pause it. Let's see. Right there.
What the? That's amazing. That's a
Okay,
like that right there.
If I go in every frame, you'll see the darkness of the contrast of these because they're going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. So they're going to hold the camera's ability to resolve images that are there. It goes all the way out here. Okay, so I'm going to put my mouse right here and then go to the other image right here. But you see where it ends visually for us here? We can't see this far, but I take the levels off, you can see all the way out here. And it's going in a straight line. Okay?
Yeah, it sure looks straight to me.
Okay? Again, all of these, you got it right here. All of this distortion remains the same. It's just getting more blurry because it's but the camera still resolves this line. That line, it goes all the way out here.
Right. So that's going to affect it when you get like parallel.
All right, here it goes right there. Look at that. All the way down. All the way down. Right?
So
now,
Travis.
Hold on just real quick. Now, what we need to realize is that when you get to Soundly's picture, the curve starts right here. Because the curve typically happens right at the horizon. So if we just swing ourselves around to go parallel with this and look down, the curve should start right here. But from this perspective, it just goes on and on and on. And why does it get smaller? Because that's distance, baby. That's distance. And if this were the road, you'd see a car right here, a car right here, you'd see a car right here. And once it got out here, it would be above the horizon. And you'd just see this little blip of an ant, right? Until it got so far away and then it goes boop and just disappeared. Where'd it go? Didn't go over the curve. It went into the distance. So I took like 200 shots like this last night, finding, and every once in a while it'll glitch. All right, so I just go frame by frame, and every once in a while, like I said, 30 frames a second. Every once in a while, one of these frames, it was just jackpot. Absolute jackpot straight down the line. VLC is not the greatest sometimes of going frame by frame, but that's why I wanted to have other people participate in this. Look, there's the line right there. There's the line right there, all the way
That's
down.
a good one. Hold on.
You can
Right
see
there
it.
for a second. Let me get a screenshot real quick.
That is awesome, dude.
Okay, I'm good.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to lay a flat line on these. It's tough though because the tops of the towers kind of you know.
Yep. I don't think that it's going to be perfect, but there's enough there that you can at least look at that right there. Look at this right here. All the way down to right here. All the way down to right there. That line.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, you can
Right
see
there.
something. It's not resolving enough to give you, but you can definitely
So
see something.
Yeah, so look, here at 34 seconds, we got 3 white caps out here, okay? That's right here is where the I'm going to put where, you know, the power lines get to. I'm going to go now to the other one and we'll see what we can see. I'm going to go to 34
Travis,
seconds.
real quick. I want to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
When you're parallel with that, right? The way they're curving to the side, right? That can make an optical illusion appearing to have curvature. That could affect it, right?
It's going to be, listen, this is the interesting thing about this discussion because listen, guys, I've done these streams pretty constantly in the past couple of days, hours of them, right? And I feel like I've said some pretty important things in terms of what I think is going on with analyses and things like that. If I were going to go back over that shit and find what I said, that would take so much fucking time, okay, to cut out that stuff. But here's the gist. In my streams, I have pointed out the fact that the Pontchartrain footage that Soundly produced is clearly an inferior mirage. Clearly. But what you have happen in the inferior mirage in that image is the images from the bottom and the images from the top go towards each other. So which is it? Are the light rays bending down or are they bending up? Because they're both going in the same. I'm sorry, in opposite directions. The bottom is going up and the top is going down. So you got both things happening. But we're always told, oh, the light's bending down, so it's projecting the image up. But clearly, the inferior mirage from the angle that it's shown with soundly, and even mine, I've got it. If you don't know what you're looking at, you're going to think that it's curving because of the physical topography. No, it's not. It's refraction. Every single time I've been saying this, every single time, it's always refraction. If there's no image, if there's no mirage, gentlemen and ladies out there in the audience, it is a refraction phenomenon. Okay, so either it has an image and it's an inferior mirage, or there's no image. But when there's no image, there's still a shit ton of refraction that you got to account for, and they don't. Okay, but anyway, so here are those 3 white caps, right? And here is where the mouse was. But for us right now, we can only see about this far. You know?
It's the same.
So when I changed the... Huh?
It's the same white
right
caps?
here?
Yeah.
Well, this is 33 seconds, 34 seconds, right there, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So if I go back, let me just go back to 30. Right there. Okay, right here. Right there. And there's the bird right there. Okay. There's the bird right there. Different feather stroke, or different wing stroke, but still, the cursor is out here. This line clearly goes down right here. Clearly. You can see the tops of these out this far.
You know, one thing I've noticed too is, I mentioned this a minute ago, the tops of these fade out for some reason faster than the middle and the bottom. I don't know why.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So you lose the top first. Yeah.
It's going on frame by frame, and every once in a while, like I said, every once in a while they would just pop in this. And then if it glitches like that, and then you go back 10 seconds to try to clear it out, that just takes some time. It takes a lot of shit, a lot of time going. Look at that. Boom. Look at that. Just popped out of nowhere. The frame before that, nothing. This frame, boom.
Hey, Travis, remember when you have told me before that when you have high tides or medium tides, it pushes up refraction a little bit more? So could that be the case? Maybe that's why it's blurry at more refraction at the top.
I don't know, man. That kind of analysis.
Saltwater lake Pontchartrain, so there's no tide. I think.
Pontchartrain. Look at that. Pontchartrain is. Look at that. It goes all the way out there, right there. Yeah, Pontchartrain is an estuary. I don't think it has tides, but
I think, Travis, remember, it would have to do more with the weather conditions.
Sure. Well, that's what okay, but see, I went back on a day that's completely sunny and did this exact same thing again, but it was a sunny day. I just haven't gotten to that footage yet.
Yeah.
But let me jump to the next one. This one, I think. Because the lighting was so bad, or so poor, I switched to the dusk and dawn. Okay, so this is the dusk and dawn setting. So even with the dusk and dawn, you get even a farther shot here. Okay, but everything's going out. Everything goes out to a point. There's no curve. There's a slope. There's definitely a slope, but there's no curve. And then look at that one. That one came out a little bit more. Look at that one, a little bit more pointed. It comes down to a fucking axis. That's like an acute triangle right there. All right, but here, watch. Here, I'm going to show you what I do. I'm just going to let it play.
Have you counted the power lines and kind of seen how, figured out how far they go? No?
Fuck no, man. I think that would be an interesting attempt, right? I think it would be an interesting attempt, but I would not want to do that. I wouldn't want to hire somebody out for that one.
Yeah, you could only get so far anyway. They all start to blend together.
Man, this is so weird looking.
And every once in a while, on the other side, when we get to the other side, that tower that is 15 miles away will all of a sudden just pop out of nowhere in the frame. Like it just was the right frame at the right time. The frame before, the 29th frame, nothing. The 30th frame, boom, just happened to be there. Okay, so I'm going to pan out now. Now I'm going to drive behind it. Okay, it's going to pass in front of me. I think this is pretty cool. Look at that shot right there. Look at that shot right there.
Oh, wow, that is pretty cool right there. Were these the ones that you sent me earlier, the same ones? Because I listened to the sound, and I thought I'd mention this. You were talking to a guy on the shore, just small talking, and then it turns out he was a physics professor, I thought I heard you say.
High school teacher.
High school physics teacher, okay.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Bev and Cleary when I was pulling up to set up my observation. This guy was fishing. He had all of his gear where I normally set up my tripod, so I had to set up on the other side, but it was still in the same area. It was just wasn't in the, I was like 20 feet away. So I'm setting up, and he said, "What are you taking photos of?" And I said, "I'm documenting proof that our Earth is flat and stationary." And nothing from him, absolutely nothing, right? So I'm setting up him and Han. I'm like, "Hey, have you ever thought about that at all? That it appears to us that it's, look out there, you can see the horizon. Look out there across the horizon, blah, blah, blah." And he says, "Well, the first thing he pulled out of his hat was that he flew planes." He's like, "Well, I flew planes. I've seen the curve." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. Have you ever heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, he's an astrophysicist allegedly, and he says you can't even start to see it until you're 120,000 feet. Were you that high?" "No." So then I'm talking some more, and he says, and I said, "What the beautiful thing about this is that, horizontal and level and flat and straight, they all correlate because there's no deviation in elevation in any of them. And the beautiful thing about water is the physics of water, we understand. The mechanics of water, we understand." The minute I mentioned physics, he says, "Oh, I'm a physics teacher." I said, "Well, then this should make perfect sense to you. That standing water maintains its level at every point. There's no deviation in elevation at the surface." Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that was, but you only got one side of the conversation because I was standing closest to the camera while I was recording.
Sure. Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty funny. It sounded like he was getting a little irritated based on what you were saying.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So I backed off. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a dick, but yeah, he was getting visibly upset, like visibly. So
wow.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna pass behind. Okay.
Hey Travis, is there a way that you can probably change the contrast in it, make it a little more sharper or something?
I don't know what that means. You want me to go darker?
Maybe just to see what it does. Just
contrast. I don't know what the contrast would do. Darker, because every once in a while it's just like this.
Right there.
font.
Go up. Go back up. I seen it pop up at the end down there when you went up.
Yeah, right there.
Look at that. You can see a little more.
Right there, yeah. I mean, it's a fine-tuned. But see, look at this. Okay, so guys, listen. This is what I did with Skyfree's video. Skyfree's video is absolutely brilliant with their button thing, man. I just was like drooling all over myself with their button video. And I put out a video with a breakdown and showed my own footage with Pontchartrain. I showed my own footage with Pontchartrain and demonstrated that these bases, once they get out to a certain point, you lose sight of them. Not because they've gone over a curve, because you can clearly see that it goes out physically farther, but you can't see them anymore. So just like right here, see how tight they get? That angle of view on these bases is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, smaller and smaller and smaller. Right here, I don't see anymore. I don't see that anymore. Not because there's a fucking curve there, but because just like if this were a car on the causeway going away, I can't see it anymore, but it's still level above the water the whole way out.
Hey Travis, how far is the distance between each tower?
That's a good question. I don't know.
If you found that out, you could probably approximate how far you.
This is not a one-man show, okay? Let's get some. I
gotcha. What you probably could do is, based on observations, at least see how far, how far in the distance you could see above the horizon based on the tower. Do you know what I mean? Because you could probably see about 10 miles above the horizon, I think, slightly. 10 to 16 depending, and that's just your.
Okay. Let me see if I understand what you're saying, Data. So if I put my cursor here, I'm above the horizon. You're saying that degree of angle above the horizon could very well equal 10 miles farther.
That's correct, based on your vision. Yeah.
Totally good with that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which there'd be no curvature matching 8 inch per mile square, right?
Exactly. So. Which then goes back into our good friend William Carpenter's 7th proof that the Earth is not a globe. Okay, but let's finish this little site here. So the point is too, right? I can match up once I get to the other side of these power lines and get the video from that side. I can match up to scale this same shot of angle. Like I can find on the video where this same line of sight, and then I pull those two things together and hold them as a mirror and see if the other side shows me the exact same thing. I don't think it does. I think that from this side, changing that angle actually distorts the image in a different way, which is what Soundly doesn't show you. He shows you over here on this side, and I want to say, what was this image over here when you took it before you got to the other side? Oh, I didn't take a picture. Why not? Why wouldn't you fucking do that? Why would you only show us this side? Cherry pick much? Methinks. All right, so here I'm going to move back, or I'm going to drive behind. Pretty proud of myself. I'm driving on the side of the road, keeping this camera this way and not veering off into traffic.
How fast are you going?
Not even 5. Not even. I'm crawling.
Oh, okay.
Crawling.
All right.
Crawling.
Well, that reminds me of that bridge.
Just look at this. All the way down. Just a straight fucking line, man. Straight fucking line.
Yeah, no doubt. It looks like it gets straighter as you get this angle on it versus the other one.
Right.
What a dreary day, though.
Yeah.
Did you meet up with anybody while you were over there?
I didn't hear you.
Did you meet up with anybody at Pontchartrain?
Sorry, guy.
No. But next time I'm going to be there, hopefully early or the late last part of March. I'm going to try to meet up with Flathead Walt from Iron Realm Media.
Oh, okay.
If you remove any kind of coloration, just go black and white and increase your contrast, you'll get a lot more detail.
Yeah.
If you're so I was going to say, if you had
kind of eerie.
If you have WeTransfer, you could send me one of your files it's under 2 gigabyte, and then I'll color correct it for you. If you want me to do that.
WeTransfer? Oh, WeTransfer. Yeah, I know what that is. Okay.
It's free service. Flat Earth Data at Yahoo, man. Just send me a file. I'll color correct it for you.
Watch for the distant. Watch for the distant tower. There it is, right there. It'll show up. Watch. Right there.
Yeah. Photo forensics has this tool that exposes lines, like these power lines and that you see going off into the clouds. It would resolve them.
No.
So the thing that once the VLC gets down here for some reason, it locks up. I think it's because it's all the data that's right at the end of it. Okay, so one of the things that I find interesting, I don't think I have a Google Earth image up. Okay, so if you go to Google Earth and you find this location, all of these stations here, all of these towers, all the way across, all 15 miles, these are all the same. There are no towers like this from here on out, all the way across. Okay, so this tower here is probably maybe a third higher than this, like 2/3, a third. I don't know if it would say that they're equal, like it's half and half. But my point is that when you see the image of the tower down there 15 miles away, it's way too fucking big. And I've said this from the beginning. The minute I saw Soundly's images from the first time, he shows the tower right there. I'm like, how far away is that? It's the entire distance. And it's twice the size of these guys. It's massive. There's no way that tower would be that angular size at 15 miles. No way.
What do you think's going on?
You want to look at some more?
Hey, Travis, I posted that bridge video. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it kind of reminds me of that slightly, but a greater situation.
Bro, I lived the bridge, man.
Oh no, that's definitely what's going on, Don. He's talking about is it Phuket? Somebody's
the bridge. Oh, yeah, Phuket word. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the causeway here. But if you're talking about, yeah.
That's definitely what's going on, in my opinion. It's just a miraging effect that makes it look curved like that. That is not curved.
Yeah. But listen. This is the same day, just right now. All I did was change sides. The other side wasn't doing this.
It's the angle of the light.
Yeah. I noticed that too, because that looks curved as hell right there, right?
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's just the angle of the light source.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I mean, it just looks like it's dumping into the water down there. Like it's just
Yeah, look at that. That was not happening on the other side.
No, not at all.
So he totally fucking cherry picked his image.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, like I was saying earlier, Travis, you know how it's deviating to the right in the video? That could make it more distorted. Would you think? From the top, it's kind of curving off to the right, not like curve, but going off to the right a little bit.
You mean when I was showing the other images? So watch. Okay, look, you can't see the tower here, but I'll just go frame by frame and see if one comes in, if we get a good one.
You know, what I'm saying is they're not parallel to each other.
You see it right there? See it right there?
Yep.
Look at this is 15 miles away. Look how much fucking taller it is than this. Look at that right there. Boom. Look how high that is. That's insane.
Is that just like a digital thing or something?
No, it's in Soundly's photo. He's got a clearer shot. I have clearer shots too, because like I said, I went back the next day and it was a beautiful sunny day. Look at that. Boom.
Huh.
That's 15 miles away.
Travis, have you looked at them from the top before on Google?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know how they're going, like, they're not parallel to each other. When they further get out, they start to deviate to the right or left, depending on your perspective or how you're looking at them.
I'm not sure I understand. Should we pull up the map? I don't want to misunderstand you.
So, yeah, because I think because you're looking at one side, it looks different than the other side.
They deviate towards the north as they go away from you. From you're viewing from the west to the east, they deviate towards the north.
Well, that means that they would be going in my direction. They would be going toward me.
When you're on which side?
The side that I was on right then.
The side that looks curved?
He's on the west.
Yes, that's right.
He's on the northwest side.
Yeah, that's interesting because I don't remember looking at that. Let me pull up my my project.
Yeah, I just thought to include that, that'd make more sense too, while we think we see curve.
Okay, so these are all the points that I had of interest. This point right here in the view from the hotel, on this section of the I-10, this is the only spot where there's a crossway high enough for boats to go underneath. And when I'm shooting from the hotel in the early morning, I can see just the top of this arcing up over the horizon, and you can see the cars going up and over it. Sunset Park was awesome, Rakia. Thanks for recommending that. It was a fantastic shot. I don't know if you saw my footage from there.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm sorry I couldn't join you. We went to Florida that week.
Okay, so here, okay, so right here, okay, here are all these towers. If you creep along, looking at all these towers, they are all the same shadow, right? They are all the same shadow, okay? Now, I don't know how to get the clarity of what Don was saying in terms of knowing when they start to deviate. But if they do start to deviate, then they are heading in a tighter angle towards
I think
the
right there, they're starting to do it right there.
I don't know, because it's just getting closer to the shoreline. I don't know. Like, I mean, look, if you look right there, like right there, there's one, boom, 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 boom. You take it just looks like a straight line to me. But
well,
that's
remember,
just
this is some kind of map projection too. So
okay, all right. So now here's the end. Here's the end. Okay, so now we're gonna zoom in, and there's the tower. See that?
Yeah,
that's the tower. Okay, that's the tower you're looking at.
That's the tower you think you can see in the distance that looks...
That's the only one. That's the first one that comes up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
25
That
kilometers?
is 16 miles away.
Hmm.
No way. Absolutely no way it's going to be that large naturally or you know, that far away.
How tall are, those things?
I don't know.
Just for some specs, Brandon, on that, those towers each are about 1,000 foot apart. But it looks like if you dominoed them, you know, that first one would hit the next one. The next
You're
one
telling me
would
that that's 1,000 feet?
1,000 feet. I just looked at it on
no shit.
LouisianaPower.com.
Crazy. Yeah, that doesn't even look like it's 300.
Yeah, I would have guessed
there's
those were much closer than that.
There's 85 of them in 15 miles.
Damn, Mr. Numbers tonight, Aaron.
Hey, you know, supporting my boy.
So this, okay, let me show you guys this. I didn't know this until I went here. Okay, this yellow line is not the only line of power lines here. Okay, at this same spot where Soundly took his shot down this way, here is another set of power lines.
Okay.
Start at the same place. Here's another set of power lines going this way, this far.
Okay.
10 miles.
And they never deviate.
Wait, maybe it's those that I was thinking deviate.
Okay. Yeah, these ones have a dog leg. These ones definitely have
maybe,
a dog leg.
I got them mixed up, my bad.
Okay, thanks. Well, I appreciate that clarification. But listen, my point is that this is 10 miles, right? So in Soundly's, where does the curvature start? Because if it doesn't start before 10 miles, then if you're looking 10 miles this way and 10 miles this way, they should look the same.
What curvature?
Right.
It's flat.
Okay.
Huh.
Down, all the way down. Okay, look, you don't even see that. You know, I could probably find in my footage on my video and stop it at the right frame where it would show the same amount of distance covered. Okay, but my point is that look, this is what we see this way. How far away is this? Here's the horizon right there. Okay,
right.
So now we're looking this way. Look, we've got landscape over here. How far away is this? This is point number 7 in The Earth is Not a Globe.
That's the dogleg ones right there, right?
Okay. But all they're doing is going around this way, going around this way. There's no curvature here.
No, there's not. They're just.
And then I shot them from the other side as well. I think, can't remember if we looked at that before or not. Let's see. We can go to the next day. Let's go to the next day and just see So here, what is this? 1 minute. Let's see what I do here. All right, so here's that same shot that we just looked at. Okay.
Look how calm the water is and clear.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice day.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to pass behind it again.
Let me get a shot of that. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
That water looks like glass.
Yeah, you don't see too many days like that. That's clear.
What's that in the distance over there, Travis? Or is just
Right here?
Yeah,
Right.
what is it?
That's the distance. Yeah, watch. Okay, so let's just look at that. Let's just take a guess real quick. Okay, so if I'm looking at the power lines, I'm right here. This is my observation point. Okay. All right, so I'm looking down these power lines. Right, looking down these power lines. But over to, so the power lines are still going, but over here, this is 11 miles away.
Dude. No,
Okay.
wow.
And this shit's not that high. This is all just swampy, whatever.
Yeah. 11 miles? You shouldn't see that
But
shit.
look.
You can see it.
Okay, but right here, but it's super. But why can't you see it here? Because that's a farther distance. It's just like if this was the highway and you're watching cars go, and then they kind of go flicker in and out, and then you can't see them anymore. They haven't gone over a curve. They've gone farther away from you through the ether band, through the medium, farther away. This is not hard.
Huh.
Look at all that, dude. You got that whole side.
Look at how flat.
Well, how do we
look
prove
at how
it's not
flat that
going over the
fucking
curve?
horizon looks like.
Yeah, I know,
How do
right?
we prove it's not going over the curve, Travis?
Okay, what curve, Jeremy?
What do you mean? The curve that they say the cars are going over, or whatever you're looking at.
It's first of all, it's sensible. Second of all, it's logical. Third of all, it's empirical. Now, what I'm going to point out to you right now is now that I've zoomed in here, let me actually go back. Okay, let me go back. So look and see what we can see right here. You see this right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you're looking at a solid physical image here? You can see the top. You can see the top. You can see the water right here. You can see the water, and you go, oh, there's an image right there. Is that gray little, spot right there? Would you say that you're looking at 100% physical?
The top? Yeah, the top part.
No. I didn't say the top part. You can see a complete gray block.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you done this before, and you explain it pretty well in your other videos.
With my naked eye, that's what I can see. Now look what I can see when I zoom in. It's a fucking inferior mirage.
Huh.
Okay?
Yep.
So what that means is here at the top of the trees. Down here, where it looks like these trees go into the water.
Right.
Why can't I see the shoreline, bro? Because it's behind the curve, right? There's an inferior mirage here. What does the mirage do? The mirage, here you go. You guys, I'm just going to geek out on you. Can I geek out a little bit? Just a little bit.
Dude, you could clearly see the other side, yo.
Okay, look. This is what an inferior mirage is. An inferior mirage is basically a shadow. It is the inverted image of the source. Okay? When you look out into the distance and you see a tree, you're looking at a 90-degree image. It's going straight up and straight down. Don't argue with me about branches and shit is leaning or whatever. Okay? This is 90 degrees. You drop a plumb line, 90 degrees. This inverted image of the shadow is not 90 degrees. It is extending toward the viewer over the ground, which means it covers distance. So depending on the angle of the light, this tree's shadow can actually equal the height of the tree, but it can also be shorter, and it can sure as hell be a lot longer. But my point is that we have no problem understanding that the shadow is extending into our proximity over distance. This is the x-axis. Okay?
I have a question about that. Because to me, when I see these inferior mirages and I see the mirror image, it looks like it's about the same visual space as the actual image. Like you could fold it over and it would match up. It'd be about the same size as what it's mirroring, but it's taking up so much further space. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah, that's my point. This is why I am actually completely in love with this concept, because what you just hold on just real quick. What you just highlighted is, I think, a part of the science that needs to be explained. Okay, so here's an image.
I have an option for an observation you can do. Is, let's say you have an object vertical to a mirror. The mirror is laying flat. You have a distance away from the camera. You'll see that at a certain angle, the reflection will be with the camera, foreshortening will happen. You'll get a compression effect. The point is that you'll have foreshortening will take effect. So that distance, that reflection that you see, is over a mile or maybe a mile to 2 kilometers, even longer, depending, from the position of the camera to the position of the island. That whole mirroring effect takes place over like at least 2 kilometers, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get this foreshortening. So what I'm saying as an observation you can do is lay a mirror flat, have an object, see the reflection of that object, but then take a camera from a distance away and zoom in and see the foreshortening effect of that mirror to highlight what you're seeing here. That's the only way I can think about doing it to express the foreshortening effect. Because again, it's just anyway.
Yeah, I mean, great. Another thing to do that would be worthwhile, right? So let's spread the joy. Okay, so here we go, Brandon. The horizon is created by a refraction phenomenon, either with or without mirage. Here is an obvious inferior mirage. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is go to the image of what I can see with my naked eye. You see that?
Yep.
That's what I can see with my naked eye. Do you know what I'm going to think when I look out there? I'm looking at a solid image. That's the whole building. That's the whole building, bro. I can see this building. I can see this building. I can see this building. Can I see this building is an inferior mirage? No. Where'd it go? Oh, it's got a tab. I always forget about the tabs.
Toss the variable out there. It's just, it's speculation. Could the location of the sun and weather conditions?
Yes. Which totally throws everything into a fucking tailspin, which is why they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yes. You will never see them talk about the position of the sun in their analysis of these mirages or other optical phenomena.
I'd also like to add that Dada's point about holding that mirror out. A mirror, we understand it's a solid object, casting that image back to our eye.
Yeah.
The ether band over distance is a multitude of, what would you call it, mediums, right? Or
the one thing, just real quick, Data, the one thing that you're not going to get with a mirror, you're not going to get a vanishing line on the image. You're going to have a clear demarcation between the physical image and its reflection. You're going to see everything. There's not going to be the blur of the fold line.
The position of the sun matters a lot. Brandon, do you remember that video they show with the spirit level or whatever on the table and then the horizon?
Oh, yeah.
Remember how the water was bulging heavier on one side than the other?
Yes.
It was because the position of the sun. It was because of the position of the sun, the way the sun was hitting it.
Right, right.
Interesting.
All right, so just real quick, the mirage is not vertical, but along the x-axis and includes the apparent sky to either side of the buildings. This apparent limit to the water right here, this apparent limit to the water. Why do you say apparent, Travis? Because this is not where the water stops. The apparent limit to the water is not physical, but optical, and the result of the conditions of the medium through which the observation is being made, which would include the position of the sun. Now, here's to your point, Brandon. This is New Orleans. It's 28 miles away. Okay, so I could see this with my naked eye. 28 miles away, I could see this with my naked eye, no problem. Okay. Now, this building right here is, or what we're seeing right here. Where's the what, Travis? Why can't I see the sidewalk, bro? It's down here behind the curve, bro. That's not even ground level. Ground level's right here, bitch. That's ground level right here. Okay. So when I look out and I see this full image right here in the middle, that's these two buildings. This is not 100% 90 degrees. It is 9/10 physical, 1/10 mirage. This mirage, according to Andrew Thomas Young, does two things. It hides what is behind and below the vanishing line. Below and then behind. That's the first thing that a mirage does. The second thing the mirage does is it creates this apparent limit to the water. Now, we do not see a full image of this of these two buildings. We only see this much of the reflection, which is like right here. Okay? So that's how much is reflected right there, down there, maybe smaller. So if we had a different set of conditions, this mirage actually might stretch out farther in our direction, and we could see more of this. Think of this as like the shadow of a tree. The angle of the sun is creating the length of this reflection. Okay. Now we don't have a mirage of the sky here underneath this building. We do not have. Why are you saying that, Travis? Just wait. Now we come over here to a building half the size of this one, but it's still tall enough so that we only have a disproportionate mirage. Okay, you've got this little out bubble right here. I don't know even what this is. The building's got a lipoma. I don't know, right? But from what we do know about mirages is this is the physical image going out. The mirage brings it back in, and you've got the doubles. But right here, you've got a disproportionate mirage. It's not the entire building. Now, we get to this building, and we have tiny little indications of the sky being miraged.
That's weird.
Moving over here, this building is shorter than this one. Now we have the entire building miraged, but it's not in proportion. This is much bigger, and this is much smaller. But we have the sky mirrored here. Then we get over here, and this building is much smaller. The entire image is here, which means it's the entire image of the building from the ground up. Everything is right here. Everything is right here. All of the information of this building, everything. If there was a woman out there giving a goodbye kiss to her husband on the way to work, she's right here. Right here. Now, here is the sky right here, and here is the mirrored image. Guess what this is not right here? Anyone know? What is this not?
It's not the sky, it's water.
Not the sky. It is not the sky. This is what they saw out on the ocean when they saw a Flying Dutchman. They saw the boat, perhaps in an inferior mirage, and they thought they saw physical sky. This is the sky, bro. Look at the sky. This thing's floating in the air. No, it's not. The sky is miraged. Okay, now listen very carefully. if you're okay with understanding that this is a mirror image of the sky right here, do you know what all of this is?
In that video, in that picture with the
Hold
boat.
on, please. Hold on, please.
Water.
No. What are you looking at right here? Are you looking at the sky?
No.
No. This is a mirage. Now, take away all of these buildings, right? Oh, no, let me do this. Actually, let me do this. I always forget that there's a tab. Okay, now, I'm looking out here. Look how tight that mirage is. I can't even know it. Okay, my point is, this building is in a mirage, this building is in a mirage, this building. The sky between these buildings at that same degree is in a mirage. Guess what is all along this? Guess what you're not actually seeing here? You're never, people, listen to me very carefully. You are never seeing the sky meet the earth. Why? Because there's always a degree of the sky being reflected. And what does that mean? That means that from this point to this point is a transit across the x-axis. From here to here, it could be 10 miles. 10 miles of straight horizontal distance. If I had a boat on this, Rakia, meet me at the Pontchartrain, man. I'm gonna send you into the band, bro. I get him sitting right here. Rakia, yep, you're right there, bro. I got you. You're floating right on the horizon. I want you to head toward New Orleans. We would see, as depending on how high his boat is, we would see him go into the distance, and the sky would appear underneath him, and he would disappear somewhere up here. Why? Because he's going into the distance. I'm done.
So
Good
Travis,
stuff, Travis.
from your yellow line to the apparent water line there, like Data said, that could be how many miles?
That's what I said. Yeah, it could be 10 miles. Who knows?
Oh, it's
but look.
away. Yeah.
Yeah. I did it again, right? Tab. Okay, but look. That horizon, I'm 12 feet off the ground. So, how far away is that horizon?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 12 miles? Well, then guess how if that horizon stops at 12 miles and this is 28, then that means that there's 16 miles of space in this. I did it again, damn it. That means that there's 16 miles right here. And here goes Rumpus. You can't make the bottom of a mountain disappear. You can't miss 2,000 miles. Okay, this is only 28 miles away. You think that when you move these things farther into the distance, no matter how big they are, that you're not compounding all of these things? Look, these buildings are not to scale. Okay? I did it again. These buildings are not to scale.
Right, like shrinking a little bit.
You probably shouldn't see this building 28 miles away. The reason why you do is because the Aether band is a lens.
That's 28 miles away.
Yeah.
Holy wow.
And think about how small. I did it again. Think about how small this building is. Look at how much smaller it is than this one. But look at that's the top. This is the top. Look, there's an aerial right here. There is an aerial antenna right here. You think you should be able to see that 28 miles away?
It's loomed up. Just kidding.
It's refraction, bro. Now what?
You know what's cool about that image, Travis, is we do have shadows too on the buildings to give
The Earth is very
dimension
flat.
to them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, that was good stuff, Travis. Appreciate that. Really nice presentation. And we're it's 8:00, so we're gonna wrap up. Do final thoughts. Let's start off at the bottom with SE Montreal. Any final thoughts, SE? Jeremy.
Batmobile.
All right. To the Batmobile. Rob Keane.
I'm really quiet.
I can hear you.
Thanks a lot, Brandon.
Thank you, Rob.
Great show today.
Thank you. Rakia. Aaron.
The ether band, in my opinion, it's not a physical thing. So Globers are going to say, but there's a line there and there's a refraction, meaning that it's refracting off the water or something solid. But clearly it's not. And go out, anybody, if you have anything extra, go out and support this kind of research, and let's see what else we can find.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Matrix.
Brandon, good show. Thank you for having me. And just to the audience out there, to think about something that, how difficult would it be for the controllers to control when they make up the story and also give you the definition, including the story in the definition. So let's just say hypothetically the world isn't a globe, then that sphericity, that level curve shit would not exist. So, you know, that's the thing being in question. I don't think it's fair. We should give them that kind of citation because it puts the fairy tale in the definition. So I don't think we should kind of account that or at least hold them to task. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me, Brandon.
Thank you, Matrix. Travis.
My throat's parched. Great show. Thanks. Appreciate the opportunity to geek out.
Yeah, thank you. FE reality.
FE doesn't equal reality.
Oh, my bad.
Well, Travis's presentation was quite boring, and he didn't present any evidence as usual. So, Gesundheit. So, are you okay?
Yeah, just try to inhale my
All
drink.
Right, so Travis made a lot of claims during his presentation, but no evidence means we can just dismiss it. In other words, cool story, bro. Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Ed. Don.
Nice show, man. It was awesome. Debating paid a little bit here and there too about geometric straight lines and all that whatever and whatnot. Awesome presentation that Travis put on. Man, it's pretty far. Thanks for the show.
Thanks, Don. Data.
Hey, good show, Brandon. Travis, keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, Data. And my final thoughts. Yeah, excellent stuff. Travis had me thinking about quite a few different things. Good footage, good picture. So thank you very much. Thanks to Dan, the Waterman, for coming on. I thought that was only fair that he got to speak his mind, as Bob did on Friday. So hopefully we can drop that feud, let them do that offline now. And that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be talking about. I'm going to try to find something silly NASA did to laugh at.
What about that? What about that 1 mile arm telescope I sent you?
Oh yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. That was in DMs, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's 1 mile arm telescope, man.
Okay.
And if you look around it, there's no curving after that either.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'll check that out. We can bring that up tomorrow if you're going to be around, Data.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay, cool. Otherwise, thanks for being on the panel. Really appreciate it, everybody. And we'll see you in a little bit. I'll come back and record the after show in case anybody wants to get crazy in here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Clear. Oh, final word from Cleary says, I'll try to do it like QE, but it's going to be awful. So hopefully that was worth the $2. Thank you very much, Cleary. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.